Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1360. When Baiming Yuhuang saw the shameless and arrogant expression on Qin Wentian's face, she was so angry that her killing intent towered up into the sky. However, she didn't want to startle the people of the immortal dynasty. If not, how would she be able to face others in the future? She could only do her best to suppress the coldness radiating from her. There's only a small grudge between me and Princess. Why must Princess be so overbearing? Why don't I leave the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom now? Princess, please don't make things difficult for me. At that time, I will definitely release this soul wisp. Qin Wentian spoke, wanting to use this chance to leave. Release you? Who knows what a shameless person like you would do? Release that soul wisp immediately and I can pretend that nothing has happened. Princess Kitamura coldly spoke. Since Princess doesn't believe me, it's very hard for me to believe Princess Yuhuang as well. In that case, things would be difficult. Qin Wentian spoke, as though the negotiation was about to reach a stalemate. You are Nongyue's friend and was invited to the royal palace as a guest. How are you going to answer to Nongyue for doing such a shameless thing? Princess Kitamura's tone softened. In addition, I heard that Chongqing the Great betrothed his daughter to you. If they knew about this, what would Chongqing the Great and your fiancé do? Princess Yuhuang, you also know that I'm Nongyue's friend. Since you know, you still want to pry into my soul memories? What a great taboo this is. How are you going to answer to Nongyue? As for Chongqing the Great and my fiancé, if they know about my situation, they would naturally understand. If you don't believe me, Princess can just go ahead and expose me. It's best if you announce this to the entire world. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Being trapped in the princess residence, he had just broken through to the immortal king realm. Clearly, it was impossible for him to fight against Princess Kitamura, who has already broken through to the immortal emperor realm. His soul techniques were also inferior to hers. There was no way for him to escape. Could it be that he would allow Princess Kitamura to pry into his soul memories? How could this be possible? Since Princess Kitamura was so ruthless, there was nothing he wouldn't dare to do. Princess Kitamura was so angry that her whole body was trembling. Qin Wentian said, Actually, I have another way to make everyone happy. What is it? Princess Kitamura stared at Qin Wentian coldly. Princess Yuhuang wants my inheritance? That's naturally impossible. After all, there's no relationship between us. However, if Princess Yuhuang is willing to marry me as my concubine and serve me in the future, I would naturally be willing to impart all sorts of inheritance techniques to my beloved concubine. There's nothing I'm unwilling to do. In fact, I might even allow you to see my soul memories. Qin Wentian spoke with a straight face. Naturally, I have to do something with Princess Yuhuang first. If not, I'm afraid that Princess might regret her words. Princess. Enough. Princess Kitamura was so angry that her soul was trembling. Her face was livid, and her body was filled with a terrifying coldness. Her beautiful eyes were filled with a terrifying killing intent. She wished she could tear Qin Wentian into pieces. This young man actually dared to be so shameless, using words to profane her. Take Princess Kitamura as his concubine? Serve him? She even wanted to do something with him first? What did this mean? Princess Kitamura was a heaven's chosen, the #1 beauty of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom. Her talent was #1, and she was the youngest immortal emperor in history. Who would dare to be so disrespectful to her? But today, a junior whose cultivation base was inferior to her actually dared to touch her soul and body, using words to profane her. If this was known by the experts of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, Qin Wentian would most probably be dismembered into 8 pieces. Even the Dark North Immortal Emperor would personally act to kill him. Upon sensing the towering coldness radiating from Princess Kitamura, Qin Wentian's hands continued to move around dishonestly. However, he didn't dare to go too far. At the very least, he didn't dare to touch certain forbidden areas. If not, Princess Kitamura would disregard everything and kill him. Right now, his purpose was to make Princess Kitamura leave. Princess Yuhuang's true self is still not leaving? Could it be that you really want something to happen between us? Qin Wentian's hands moved about wildly. Princess Kitamura's expression was extremely ugly to behold. After that, her soul returned to her body as her true self exuded a terrifying aura. She coldly stared at Qin Wentian. If you dare to touch me again, I will really kill you. Qin Wentian's hands froze. He smiled, as long as Princess leaves, I naturally won't offend you. Bzz. Princess Kitamura was also decisive. Her true self directly left. She couldn't endure the fact that Qin Wentian was constantly touching her soul. She had never suffered such humiliation before. If it wasn't for the fact that she was an immortal emperor and her rationality far surpassed her impulsiveness, she might really have killed Qin Wentian in a fit of anger. Although her true self had left, her soul was still there. It was just that it was no longer a threat to Qin Wentian. However, Qin Wentian didn't dare to relax. He stared at Princess Kitamura's soul and spoke, Princess, why must you do this? As long as you let me leave, I will definitely not dare to touch Princess. You still want to leave the Dark North Royal Palace? Princess Kitamura coldly spoke. Qin Wentian couldn't help but to shiver. Princess, please don't threaten me. My hands would tremble when I'm afraid. It wouldn't be good if I touch places I shouldn't touch. Princess Kitamura's soul was about to explode from anger. At this moment, Qin Wentian also felt a headache. Although he had no choice but to use shameless methods to resolve this urgent situation, this unbelievably beautiful female ghost was an immortal emperor after all. Her immortal sense could directly envelop the entire princess residence, and she could instantly appear beside him. She could even attack him from afar. The threat was too great. If he was the slightest bit careless, only death would await him. He had no choice but to be extremely cautious. I have to trouble Princess Yu Huang. Qin Wentian blasted out a soul palm strike, heavily injuring the soul of Princess Kitamura. He had no other choice but to do so. Only by doing so would it be easier for him to control Princess Kitamura. Little did he know that Princess Kitamura wanted nothing more than to destroy this soul of hers. If that was the case, he wouldn't be able to threaten Princess Kitamura at all. After that, Qin Wentian used a soul technique he learned from his cultivation to create a soul prison, trapping the soul of Princess Kitamura within. He then spoke to her, Princess Yu Huang, as long as Princess doesn't act against me, I promise I will abide by the rules. However, if Princess wants to kill me, I Qin Wentian am also someone who has cultivated an avatar technique. If my true self dies, my avatar won't die. At that time, I will announce to the world that I was killed because I molested Princess Yu Huang. Who would believe you? The weak soul of Princess Kitamura coldly spoke. You don't believe that I have an avatar technique? I, Qin, can swear on my soul that as for molesting Princess Yu Huang, as long as my avatar sends out a few strands of immortal sense, everyone in the world would believe me. If not, why would Princess Yu Huang offend the Evergreen Kingdom and the immortal Qinbian Gate to kill me, Qin Wentian? Qin Wentian continued, so I hope Princess won't force me. The expression of Princess Kitamura's soul changed. She stared at Qin Wentian. Who did you learn your soul techniques from? I learned them myself. Qin Wentian shamelessly spoke. Was it in the Dark North Immortal Mountain? Princess Kitamura asked. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed as he glanced at her. Upon seeing Qin Wentian's gaze, Princess Kitamura spoke again. Dark North Immortal Mountain? An old man with long hair that reaches the ground? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a marvelous light. When he thought of the words the undying old freak told him, he instantly felt enlightened. You are the lass who obtained the death scripture from the undying old freak? Qin Wentian speechlessly spoke. This was truly strange. Princess Kitamura was actually the lass the old freak spoke of. Also, the soul techniques they cultivated originated from the same person. You also cultivate the soul techniques? What did that old freak give you? Princess Kitamura seriously asked, recalling some matters of the past. She also thought of this because of Qin Wentian's soul techniques. After all, Qin Wentian just exited the Dark North Immortal Mountain and stepped into the Immortal King realm. This was extremely similar to what she experienced back then. To think that you are really Princess Yu Huang. Seems like this is destined. Qin Wentian spoke. That undying old freak also bestowed a cultivation art to me before I left. He also told me that he once gave the death scripture to a lass. If I can meet her in the future, I will protect her well. The two of us would be a match made in heaven. Qin Wentian shamelessly boasted with a straight face. as though everything he said was the truth. In order to preserve his life, he wouldn't let go of any chance to get closer to Princess Kitamura. How could he not make good use of such fate? After speaking, Qin Wentian stared at Bai Ming Yuhuang with deep emotions in his eyes. Right now, Bai Ming Yuhuang's countenance could no longer be described with just the word unsightly. Her beautiful eyes flickered unceasingly as she stared fixedly at Qin Wentian. Do you think you can fool me with such nonsense? Qin Wentian stared at Princess Kitamura's eyes as his heart pounded. He could sense that Princess Kitamura was truly wavering. After cultivating the art of truth, Qin Wentian's senses were extremely sharp. Could it be that Princess Kitamura really believed his nonsense? Is this supreme beauty so easy to fool? Qin Wentian mused silently, but he was still as serious as ever. Yuhuang, luckily I didn't make a grave mistake. Everything is still not too late. Although my current strength is still a little weak, I will definitely catch up to you in the future. Although I might not be able to accomplish what that undying old freak told me to do and grow old together with you, at the very least, I would be able to fulfill the responsibility of protecting you. After all, although that undying old freak is a pervert, we are still master and disciple. I naturally have to obey his words. If that undying old freak in the forbidden ground of the Dark North Immortal Mountain heard Qin Wentian's sincere words, it was unknown if he would be so moved that he would cry bitterly. Princess Kitamura's beautiful eyes flashed as she stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian braced himself and continued acting. All right, I have no other choice. Yu Huang, I still have to imprison this wisp of your soul, allowing it to coexist with my true body. However, I won't harm you anymore. I hope you won't do anything that would make things difficult for me. As he spoke, Qin Wentian imprisoned a wisp of Princess Kitamura's soul into his soul prison before returning to his true body. Opening his eyes, a strange light flashed in Qin Wentian's eyes. And in the princess palace, Princess Kitamura's true body had her beautiful eyes open, staring in the direction of Qin Wentian. Her gaze seemed to be able to penetrate through the void, and she naturally knew everything that happened earlier. After all, the wisp of her soul shared everything with her true body. That fellow was actually the successor of that old man. The words he said. A myriad of thoughts flashed through Princess Kitamura's mind. She had never encountered such a difficult matter before. Her heart was filled with countless thoughts. Chapter 1361. Under the night sky, Princess Kitamura finally calmed down and didn't come looking for trouble with Qin Wentian again. This caused Qin Wentian to heave a sigh of relief. Today was truly dangerous. This female ghost was powerful. She wanted his memories. Qin Wentian had no choice but to use all the methods he had, hoping that Princess Kitamura would understand and release him as soon as possible. After calming down, Qin Wentian immersed himself in his cultivation. A wisp of Princess Kitamura's soul was still trapped by him. He couldn't release it. Qin Wentian had no idea what Princess Kitamura was thinking in her heart. If he released her, she would act against him in a fit of anger. In the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, there would be no path for him to escape even to the heavens. For several days, there was no movement from Princess Kitamura. Qin Wentian could relax and stay in the princess residence. He had no solution, he couldn't leave this place. In the princess residence of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, he didn't dare to open the spatial tunnel to the heavenly talisman realm. If he did so, he would be instantly discovered and the secret of the heavenly talisman realm would be exposed. Today, Bai Ming Nongyue came to the princess residence of Princess Kitamura. She found Qin Wentian and upon seeing that Qin Wentian was safe, she heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. My elder sis didn't do anything to you, right? Only to see that at this moment, Princess Kitamura's silhouette flashed and appeared here as well. Her countenance was as breathtaking as ever, but there was a hint of coldness to it. Qin Wentian exchanged a glance with her before he replied, No, I'm living very well here. Princess Yuhuang treats me very well, and our relationship is getting closer by the day. Bai Ming Nongyue's eyes flashed as she stared at Qin Wentian in bewilderment. How could this be? Could this fellow have been threatened by her elder sister? Princess Yuhuang, am I right? Qin Wentian stared at Princess Kitamura as he spoke. You are right. Princess Kitamura spoke coldly. Bai Ming Nongyue stared at the two of them, feeling a little strange. Qin Wentian, Jin's talent is good. and she has already become a disciple of an expert. Her father is also temporarily staying in the imperial city, and they told me to thank you. Baiming Nongyue spoke. Qin Wentian had a smile on his face. Since Jian was able to break through to the immortal king realm in the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, her talent was naturally outstanding. It was only normal for her to be able to take on an expert as her master. Qin Wentian was happy for her. I should be the one thanking you. Qin Wentian smiled at Baiming Nongyue. There's no need to thank me. Miss Jian is able to have such a good encounter because her talent is outstanding. If not, immortal emperors wouldn't accept disciples so easily and wouldn't give me the princess face. Elder sister is more suitable. Baiming Nongyue glanced at Princess Kitamura and smiled. Elder sis, since you have such a good relationship with Qin Wentian, why don't you be friends? Why must you make things difficult for him? Both of you are geniuses at the peak of the immortal realms. In the future, Qin Wentian's achievements would also be on par with Elder sis. If we can become good friends, wouldn't it be interesting? Nongyue, you are right. I am already good friends with your elder sister, and we have a mutual affinity. Qin Wentian smiled. Mutual affinity? Baiming Nongyue started, staring at Qin Wentian. No, it's mutual affinity. We have a common interest in cultivation, and are both proficient in a certain type of energy. In fact, we even have a deep connection with each other. Qin Wentian spoke. Princess Kitamura had a cold expression on her face. She didn't say anything. Only her gaze that occasionally glanced at Qin Wentian was filled with coldness. Your subordinate has something to report to Princess. At this moment, a voice rang out from outside the Princess Kitamura's residence. There were no guards here, and without her permission, no one would be able to enter easily. If there was something, they would have to report it to Princess Kitamura first and wait for Princess Kitamura's reply. Speak. Princess Kitamura turned her gaze over as she calmly spoke. Pei Qing came to the royal palace and wishes to meet with Princess. Right now, he is heading here together with the princes. That person reported. Princess Kitamura's eyes flashed. Pei Qing, that arrogant fellow. Back then, this Pei Qing has always been arrogant. Now that elder sister has broken through to the immortal emperor realm and broke his record, he still dares to come. Baiming Nongyue didn't seem to like Pei Qing. Qin Wentian thought of a young man as coldness flashed in his eyes. Back then in the Forbidden Ground, only 3 of them survived. One of them was killed by Pei Qing because of a disagreement. This Pei Qing was the youngest immortal emperor in the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom before Princess Kitamura. He was the number 1 in the history of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom. Right now, his record was broken by Princess Kitamura. What is he doing here? Princess Kitamura's expression was still as cold as before. Elder sister, do you still not know what Pei Qing wants to do? He simply thinks too highly of himself, believing that he, as the youngest immortal emperor, would be able to marry the number 1 beauty of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom. But now, his title as the youngest immortal emperor has already been seized by elder sister. How would he still have the face to enter the royal palace? Baiming Nongyue continued. Qin Wentian saw Baiming Nongyue's attitude towards Pei Qing. He couldn't help but to ask, I've heard of this Pei Qing before. He is the youngest immortal emperor before Princess Yu Huang. But why is he able to enter the royal palace? The power of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom was extremely terrifying. Even stronger compared to the Evergreen Kingdom. Even if Pei Qing was an immortal emperor, he shouldn't be able to enter the royal palace without any obstructions. With the title of the youngest immortal emperor in the history of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, he would naturally be treated with respect no matter where he goes, even in our royal palace. After all, his accomplishments in the future would be extremely terrifying. Let alone the fact that he is the disciple of an extremely powerful character, and has an extraordinary status. Baiming Nongyue spoke. Qin Wentian instantly understood. Seems like there were some things in the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom that he wasn't clear about. That old man who came with him in the Forbidden Grounds clearly had no idea as well. Maybe he wouldn't be able to come into contact with people of this level. Not long after, a voice drifted over from outside. Princess Yu Huang, Pei Qing is here to pay a visit. Princess Kitamura frowned. However, the other party was already outside the residence. She then spoke, "Come in." As the sound of her voice faded, the sound of wind whistling could be heard from outside. After that, a group of figures walked over. Other than Pei Qing, there were also a few of his followers. All of them were immortal kings. In addition, the prince who was at loggerheads with Bai Ming Nongyue earlier was also among them. It seemed like he was the one who received Pei Qing. "Yu Huang, it has been many years since we last met. You are even more radiant than before, exuding magnificence through the generations. As expected of the number one beauty of our dynasty." Pei Qing walked over in a carefree manner. A warm smile could be seen on his handsome face as he stared at Princess Kitamura. As for Bai Ming Nongyue, who was beside Princess Kitamura, she was completely ignored by him. Even though she was a princess of the dynasty, Bai Ming Nongyue was nothing in his eyes. This point was clear from the words he spoke to Qin Wentian back then in the Forbidden Grounds. "What are you here for?" Princess Kitamura was much colder, ignoring the other party's praise. "Can't I come to visit you if there's nothing? I heard that you broke through to the Immortal Emperor realm and broke my record. I'm naturally happy for you." Pei Qing smiled. "Is that true?" Bai Ming Nongyue smiled. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. She was very clear how arrogant this Pei Qing was. He had the title of being the top ranker in history, but now his title was snatched away by Princess Kitamura. Would he be happy? Pei Qing glanced at Bai Ming Nongyue as a proud smile appeared on his face. "Naturally, only then would I not be lonely on my path of cultivation. I would be able to frequently exchange pointers with Yu Huang and discuss the martial Tao. My elder sis doesn't have the time for that," Bai Ming Nongyue mocked. "Since when is it your turn to interfere in the matters of your elder sis? You should focus on your own cultivation first." Pei Qing laughed. After that, his gaze landed on Qin Wentian as he frowned. It was extremely rare for a man to enter Princess Kitamura's residence, but this man, he had seen him before. What qualifications did he have to appear here? "Nongyue brought you here?" Pei Qing stared at Qin Wentian. "My elder sis invited him here." Bai Ming Nongyue wanted to anger Pei Qing. Pei Qing glanced at the prince beside him and that prince replied, "Nongyue was the one who brought him here. He has already stayed in the princess residence for several days." Pei Qing's expression turned unsightly. Qin Wentian had already stayed in Princess Kitamura's residence for several days? Back then in the Dark North Immortal Mountain, I wasn't willing to bicker with an ant like you. But now you actually dare to step into this place? You don't know the immensity of death. Disappear from my sight immediately." Pei Qing didn't even glance at Qin Wentian. He coldly spoke, his tone containing no room for doubt, wanting Qin Wentian to disappear. Princess Kitamura frowned. Although she hated Qin Wentian, this was her residence. When did Pei Qing have the right to order her around? It was as though he was half the owner of this residence. Qin Wentian's expression turned cold. Although Pei Qing was an immortal emperor character, such an arrogant attitude was simply brazen to the extreme. "What does this have to do with you?" Princess Kitamura coldly spoke. "Princess Yu Huang, what qualifications does such a character have to appear in your residence?" Pei Qing was polite to Princess Kitamura, but he was filled with disdain for Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with coldness. After that, he coldly laughed and stood beside Princess Kitamura. "Yu Huang, who is this fellow? He actually dares to interfere in our matters in your residence." He stared at Princess Kitamura with a gentle gaze. Princess Kitamura silently cursed at this fellow for being shameless to the extreme. However, Pei Qing's expression instantly turned incomparably sharp as he stared at Qin Wentian. "Princess Yu Huang, what does he mean by this?" Pei Qing stared at Princess Kitamura as he spoke. Bai Ming Yu Huang's expression turned even colder. Her mood was extremely unsightly. She was originally already unhappy with Qin Wentian and now, there was another Pei Qing. Now, Pei Qing's tone was filled with interrogative intent, as though she didn't need his permission to do anything in her residence. "This has nothing to do with you. If there's nothing else, I'm going to rest." Princess Kitamura coldly spoke, ordering him to leave. These words caused Pei Qing's heart to burn with rage. A mere ant actually dared to vie with him for a woman? He swept his gaze over to Qin Wentian as a powerful pressure gushed forth. He icily spoke, "Lowly human wanting to taint the phoenix. You simply don't know what's good for you. Scram from my residence immediately, or I will make sure that you won't be able to see the stars tonight. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with coldness. Threatening him? Yu Huang told you to scram. Don't you understand? Qin Wentian stared at Pei Qing as he spoke. The youngest immortal emperor in history before Yu Huang? He should be the most shameless immortal emperor in history. Not only did he refuse to leave, he even dares to interfere in the matters between me and Yu Huang. Chapter 1362. Pei Qing stared at Qin Wentian as killing intent flickered in his emotionless eyes. Before he met Princess Kitamura, he was the youngest immortal emperor in the history of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom. No matter where he went, he would be respected by everyone. Even emperor-rank powers would treat him with respect, and he could enter and exit the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom freely. Even the Dark North Immortal Emperor viewed him in a different light. Nobody knew his future accomplishments. But at this moment in Princess Kitamura's residence, a junior who popped out from nowhere actually dared to humiliate him in public, telling him to scram? I'll give you a chance to retract your words. If you kneel down and apologize to me, then scram from the princess residence, I can treat it as though nothing has happened. Pei Qing lost face in front of Princess Kitamura, and wanted nothing more than to kill Qin Wentian on the spot. However, this place was after all Princess Kitamura's residence. He still had to pay attention. Hence, telling Qin Wentian to kneel down and apologize before scram was undoubtedly the best choice. As for whether he would kill him or not after that, you don't understand human words? Do you need me to repeat it? Qin Wentian stared at Pei Qing. Since this is the case, let me repeat myself. This place is the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, the residence of Yu Huang. Who do you think you are? Why are you pointing your fingers here? This fellow. Bai Mingnongyue stared at Qin Wentian. How audacious, acting so domineering even when facing Pei Qing. However, when she thought of how Qin Wentian's status wasn't lower than her, he naturally had the confidence to do so. Facing Pei Qing's humiliation, could it be that he had to lower his head and obediently scram from here? Pei Qing's words were extremely unpleasant to the ears. If this place was Pei Qing's territory, maybe Qin Wentian would endure it. But this place was the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom. Would Pei Qing really dare to kill him? Princess Kitamura and Bai Mingnongyue both didn't have a good impression of him. Who am I? Pei Qing suddenly laughed. His laughter was somewhat sinister. He glanced at the group of people around him and all of them laughed as well. Although the record has been broken, Princess Yu Huang is still the youngest immortal emperor in history. You being able to stand before me and speak to me is your luck. Pei Qing spoke arrogantly. I've seen many shameless people, but this is the first time I've seen someone as shameless as you. You're praising yourself, yet you're still so proud of yourself. Qin Wentian laughed. First in the history of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, and only temporarily. Dare I ask, how long have you been an immortal king, and how long have you been an emperor? 328 years to become an immortal king, 1,000 years to become an emperor. Pei Qing's eyes flashed with arrogance filled with pride. Such a cultivation speed was truly terrifying. No wonder Qin Wentian could break the record of the Dark North Immortal Dynasty. He was truly powerful. Qin Wentian didn't come into contact with too many immortal kings and emperors, and he didn't have any concept of the cultivation time. But he knew that his senior brother Bai Wuya broke through to the immortal king realm in over 1,000 years. Also, such a cultivation speed could already be considered extremely outstanding among the immortal kings of the 13 prefectures. However, this cultivation speed was still quite a distance away when compared to the geniuses nurtured by the major powers. After all, other than their talent, these people had all sorts of external resources to support them. However, Pei Qing was able to break through to the immortal king realm in 300 years, and broke through to the immortal emperor realm in 1,000 years. No wonder this fellow was so arrogant and had nothing in his eyes. In addition, Bai Mingnongyue even said that he had an extremely powerful master. Pei Qing himself was an immortal emperor. Most probably, his master was a peak stage immortal emperor character like GD and ZD. Your memory is really clear. You are so proud of yourself, but sadly, you are flaunting at the wrong place. Leaving aside the fact that Baiming Yuhuang broke your record, I, Qin, have ordinary talent and have cultivated for less than 200 years. Now I'm already at the immortal king realm. 328 years, how terrifying. Such a trash cultivation speed and you still think you are number one under the heavens? I'm really envious of how thick your skin is. Qin Wentian mocked, not bothering to be polite at all. Pei Qing's eyes flashed, staring at Qin Wentian. After that, he coldly laughed, broke through to the immortal king realm in less than 200 years? You can just say 100 years. How ridiculous. I didn't suspect you of making false reports, yet you actually have the heart of a vile character. However, this is also in line with your personality. It's fine if you don't believe me. Why don't we make a bet and invite the immortal emperors of the Dark North Immortal Dynasty to come here? If I'm over 200 years old, I will commit suicide in the royal palace of the Dark North Immortal Dynasty. If I'm not over 200 years old, you will kneel down and apologize and scram out of the royal palace, never to disturb Yuhuang ever again. Qin Wentian stared at Pei Qing, his eyes gleaming with coldness. Humiliating him, using his pride to suppress him? The more this was done, the more his pride would be stimulated. An immortal emperor was an immortal emperor. Right now, he was also at the immortal king realm. So what if he was inferior to an immortal emperor? He mustn't show any weakness. Right now, he was the son-in-law of the Chongqing the Great, the personal disciple of the heavenly talisman realm lord, the saint lord of the battle saint tribe. How could he be humiliated by a young immortal emperor? As the sound of his voice rang out, his aura was truly imposing. It was impossible to tell the age of a cultivator with a single glance, but if an expert used their bone structure, they would be able to tell. Qin Wentian said that if he lied, he would commit suicide. If he didn't, Pei Qing would kneel down and apologize and scram out of the royal palace. Pei Qing narrowed his eyes. His expression was extremely unsightly to behold. He stared at Qin Wentian. He was actually placed in a difficult position. He clearly didn't dare to make this bet. If he lost, he would have to kneel and beg for mercy. How could that be possible? What do you have to compete with me? Do you have the qualifications to talk about a bet with me? Are you even worthy? Pei Qing mocked as he coldly spoke. You were the one who boasted about your cultivation speed. You were also the one who questioned me. Now that you don't dare to face me directly, you want to use your title as the top ranker in history to suppress me? I've already said that your cultivation speed isn't even worth mentioning in front of me. You are merely seeking your own humiliation, yet you still have the face to talk about qualifications? If I were you, I would scram out of the royal palace myself. I don't have the face to continue staying here. Qin Wentian spoke in disdain. Princess Kitamura stood at the side and didn't say anything. She silently mused that evil people needed to be tempered by evil people. This Pei Qing was incomparably arrogant. Now that he encountered Qin Wentian, he was both arrogant and shameless. Yet, his cultivation speed was so terrifying that Pei Qing couldn't gain any advantage at all. Naturally, she wouldn't help Pei Qing. In truth, she also felt that Pei Qing was extremely annoying. Pei Qing's expression turned ashen. Given his status, he was humiliated time and time again. No matter how good his self-restraint was, he wouldn't be able to endure it. Coldness gushed forth from him as the pressure of an immortal emperor was compressed to a certain area, gushing towards Qin Wentian. What? Before this, you wanted to compare cultivation speed and talent. Now that you know you are inferior, you are angered from embarrassment and want to bully the weak? Although you look young, it wouldn't be too much for me to call you an old man. A person who has cultivated for 1,000 years came to pressure me. Is this the confidence and arrogance you are displaying? You still want to pursue Yu Huang? Are you even worthy? Qin Wentian's words were sharp, mocking Pei Qing until he was speechless. Yu Huang, how did you know such a shameless person? Qin Wentian stood beside Princess Kitamura, his gaze filled with gentleness when he stared at her. It felt like their relationship was extremely good and they were a couple. Baiming Nongyue stood at the side. She completely didn't understand what was going on. Her elder sister and Qin Wentian, what was going on? Could it be that they really got along very well? Who is the shameless one exactly? Princess Kitamura silently cursed at Qin Wentian in her heart. However, she didn't expose Qin Wentian. She merely stood there calmly. causing Pei Qing to be even more embarrassed. Junior brother Jing. At this moment, Pei Qing suddenly spoke. A moment later, a young man with a sharp expression walked out. His eyes were cold and sharp as he stared at Qin Wentian. This young man was someone from Pei Qing's sect and was Pei Qing's junior brother. His talent was outstanding, and although he wasn't as outstanding as Pei Qing, he would definitely be an extremely powerful genius in the eyes of ordinary people. If not, he wouldn't be able to be in the same sect as Pei Qing. However, there were only two people like Pei Qing in the history of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom: him and Princess Kitamura. No matter how powerful a genius was, they still paled in comparison. Since you say that I'm bullying you, fine. Let's not talk about cultivation age for now. The speed of cultivation might not necessarily represent one's strength. There are some people who pursue speed, but their strength is so weak that it's pitiful. My junior brother Jing is also at the Immortal King realm, and has only been at this level for tens of years. Why don't you spar with him? Pei Qing's expression was cold. Although it sounded nice to say that they were sparring, Qin Wentian understood that Pei Qing must have already sent a voice transmission to him, wanting his life. Since Pei Qing's killing intent had already been revealed, it wasn't strange for him to use the sparring partner to kill him. For someone of Pei Qing's status, there was nothing he wouldn't dare to do. Why should I spar with him? Qin Wentian suddenly spoke. Pei Qing started. Didn't you say that I'm bullying you because of my cultivation base? Now, you don't dare to spar with someone at the same level as you? I don't dare, I just feel that he isn't worthy. In addition, I don't like the word, sparring. A battle is a battle. Death and injury are unavoidable. You are so shameless. If I kill him, wouldn't you use your immortal emperor strength to suppress me? Also, your sect might come looking for me to settle the debt. Although I'm not afraid, it would still be troublesome. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Since you put it this way, fine. Let's not spar, let's fight. If you can kill him, it means that you have the capability to do so. I won't pursue this matter. Pei Qing's expression was extremely cold. He was truly enraged by Qin Wentian. You are such a shameless person, do you think I will believe you? Qin Wentian laughed. Pei Qing was an immortal emperor. He was so angered by Qin Wentian that his aura was in a frenzy. I guarantee that if you can kill junior brother Jing, my sect and I will definitely not find trouble with you. Pei Qing spoke again. I still don't believe you. Qin Wentian had a mocking smile on his face. He wasn't a 3-year-old kid. Such a guarantee basically had no credibility at all. What do you want then? Pei Qing asked. If he loses, you apologize to me and scram out of the royal palace. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. So simple. Fine, I promise you. Pei Qing was angered. How could he not agree to such a condition? He wanted Qin Wentian to die. His junior brother Jing had been in the Immortal King realm for over 90 years. 80 years could be considered several tens of years. He wasn't wrong. The last time he saw Qin Wentian was still at the Immortal Foundation realm. A genius who had been in the Immortal King realm for over 90 years against a character who just broke through. There was no need to even think about the ending. Yu Huang, if I win, I will chase this fellow away for you. Can I reward you with a kiss? Qin Wentian smiled as he stared at Princess Kitamura, angering her so much that killing intent flashed in her eyes. Princess Kitamura also coldly glanced at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian smiled. I'm just casually speaking. He wanted to anger Princess Kitamura and Pei Qing. This Princess Kitamura acted like she was watching a show. There was naturally no need to mention anything about Pei Qing. Chapter 1363. Pei Qing's junior apprentice brother was named Jing Yunhe. His talent was outstanding and he was a heaven-chosen Immortal King character. He had already been in the Immortal King realm for over 90 years, and had long stabilized his foundation. His combat prowess was extremely tyrannical. As for Qin Wentian, he had just broken through to the Immortal King realm. Most probably, his foundation wasn't stable yet, and he had only condensed a single law domain. Such a battle, Jing Yunhe felt that there was no suspense at all. Pei Qing wanted him to deal with Qin Wentian because he felt that he overestimated Qin Wentian. Naturally, Pei Qing's purpose wasn't merely to defeat Qin Wentian. Before this, he had already received a voice transmission from Pei Qing. telling him to be ruthless and kill Qin Wentian. Pei Qing wanted to pursue Baiming Yuhuang. Everyone knew that this was the youngest immortal emperor in history. If he could obtain the #1 beauty of the Dark North immortal dynasty, his fame would surely soar even higher than before. Also, Pei Qing always felt that only a woman like Baiming Yuhuang was worthy of his talent. Baiming Yuhuang was originally a wife bestowed to him by the heavens. She was his exclusive property. Right now, Qin Wentian's words actually contained a hint of ambiguity. How could Pei Qing tolerate him? He could only kill him. The woman he, Pei Qing, had his eyes on, how could he allow others to taint her? In addition, this person was an ant-like character that he had once looked down on. Someone who broke through to the immortal king realm by luck. Jing Yunhe stepped out, his brows furrowed as he stared at Qin Wentian with disdain. Scram the hell out. Qin Wentian stared at the arrogant expression on Jing Yunhe's face as a faint smile appeared on his face. Princess Kitamura continued to watch quietly, as though this matter had nothing to do with her. Baiming Nongyue was filled with anticipation. Pei Qing and Princess Kitamura's understanding of Qin Wentian was naturally not as deep as hers. This fellow even dared to tease her elder sister, and even dared to humiliate Pei Qing. His guts were much greater than what she had imagined. As for his talent, Baiming Nongyue no longer doubted him. It was just that he had just broken through to the immortal king realm. Baiming Nongyue was actually filled with anticipation. This is the Imperial Palace. Don't let the battle spread too far. Princess Kitamura spoke. If a battle between immortal kings erupted without reservation, the shockwaves would definitely be extremely terrifying, sufficient to destroy a small city. There won't be much of a commotion. He doesn't have the qualifications. Jing Yunhe faintly spoke, filled with extreme self-confidence. Only when the two sides were evenly matched would there be no way to control the commotion. But he was confident that he could easily kill Qin Wentian and control the situation, preventing the commotion from spreading too far. In order to prevent the princess residence from being destroyed, I will cover the battlefield. Pei Qing calmly spoke. Princess Kitamura didn't say anything. If Pei Qing was willing to act, he would naturally be able to stop the aftershocks of the battle. Qin Wentian and Jing Yunhe soared into the air. Pei Qing waved his hands and instantly, a beam of astral light cascaded down from the sky, enveloping the princess residence. In an instant, the light from the constellations grew incomparably resplendent, causing many experts in the royal palace to soar over here. Astral resonance was a technique of immortal emperors. What happened in Princess Yuhuang's residence? The immortal senses of many experts gushed over. After that, they saw the two experts enveloped by the astral light, Qin Wentian and Jing Yunhe. Preventing the princess residence from being destroyed? Qin Wentian laughed. Most probably, this was to prevent him from fleeing or to prevent others from interfering, making it easier for Jing Yunhe to kill him. How could Pei Qing's methods be hidden from Qin Wentian's eyes? It was just that he didn't care because he wouldn't be defeated. I broke through to the immortal king realm earlier than you. I don't want to take advantage of you. You can make your move first. Jing Yunhe magnanimously spoke, as though he was the stronger one. There's no need to be polite, just make your move. Qin Wentian humbly spoke. There's no need. If I make my move, you won't have a chance anymore. Jing Yunhe spoke. Before this, they were at loggerheads with each other. Now that the battle was about to erupt, the two of them actually became more humble. Oh, since this is the case, I'll accept it then. Qin Wentian smiled and nodded. The distance between the two of them was very close. At such a close distance, given the terrifying might of immortal kings, they would be able to reach each other in an instant. Qin Wentian's lips curled up in a strange arc. That smile caused Jing Yunhe to frown. Qin Wentian's gaze felt somewhat evil, as though he was toying with him. Truly not knowing the immensity of death, Jing Yunhe coldly laughed in his heart. His aura erupted forth as he released his law domain. In an instant, blazing flames rose up into the sky, revolving around him. Within the flames, the shadow of a magma fire king could be seen, terrifying to the extreme. Not making the first move didn't mean that he wouldn't defend. In order to avoid unexpected mishaps, Jing Yunhe decided to be more cautious. Boom! Qin Wentian stepped out. In just an instant, a divine glow radiated from him, circulating around him unceasingly. With every step he took, the heavens and earth seemed to tremble. That terrifying body of his flowed with a fearsome devilish intent of destruction. His body directly moved towards the core of his opponent's law domain, stepping into the blazing flames, into the silhouette of the magma fire king. An immortal king could form an immortal body of laws and establish a law domain. The strongest aspect of an immortal king's law domain was the body. The closer one got to the body, the stronger the law domain would be. This was the reason why it was so hard for immortal kings to die. Even if you were stronger than your opponent, the closer you got to your opponent, the stronger your opponent's defense would be. Even if you couldn't win, you could always flee. Very few immortal kings would directly use their immortal body of laws to enter the absolute domain of their opponent. This was a type of risk. If one fell into the domain, they would surely die. But Qin Wentian did so. His actions were simply laughable in Pei Qing's eyes. Fool, as expected of an ant that just stepped into the immortal king realm. He doesn't even know the taboo of immortal kings. I'm afraid he doesn't have any combat experience and is simply courting death. Pei Qing felt that his precautions were unnecessary. This Qin Wentian was simply courting death. Jing Yunhe had a mocking expression on his face when he saw Qin Wentian's actions. He released his law domain to the maximum and blasted out with his palms. In an instant, the entire law domain trembled violently as numerous magma fire kings blasted towards Qin Wentian, wanting to engulf Qin Wentian completely. Boom! At this instant, Qin Wentian released his law domain. He walked into the domain of his opponent and unleashed his own law domain. Such an action was simply arrogant to the extreme. However, at the instant his law domain was released, everything in the surroundings was instantly destroyed. That terrifying devil might envelop Jing Yunhe, causing his entire body to turn cold as a look of terror appeared on his countenance. As his countenance paled. How can his law domain be so powerful? A thought flashed through Jing Yunhe's mind. Qin Wentian naturally wasn't courting death. His immortal body of laws was the strongest point of his law domain. Hence, there was another possibility for him to enter the core of his opponent's law domain, other than courting death without any combat experience. That was, he had absolute confidence that he would be able to suppress his opponent with his law domain. Qin Wentian clearly belonged to the latter. In an instant, Jing Yunhe only felt his law domain collapsing. He sank deep into the devil energy as a gigantic palm of darkness enveloped him. It felt like as long as this palm of darkness closed in, the only thing waiting for him would be death. Jing Yunhe's body involuntarily trembled. Why the need to be the scapegoat for him? Qin Wentian emotionlessly spoke. After which, numerous palm imprints blasted downwards, causing rumbling sounds to echo out unceasingly. Jing Yunhe's countenance turned ashen as he coughed out blood unceasingly. Enough! An explosive roar rang out. It was Pei Qing. His expression was extremely unsightly to behold. Jing Yunhe was actually insta-defeated by Qin Wentian, unable to even withstand a single strike. This was simply a humiliation. Boom! Another heavy strike blasted out. Qin Wentian stomped on the Jing Yunhe's body, and just like that, he kicked the Jing Yunhe towards Pei Qing. Complete victory. Qin Wentian didn't kill Jing Yunhe. He knew that Jing Yunhe wanted to kill him, but he didn't kill him. His gaze was fixed on Pei Qing as he spoke. Are you satisfied now? Now, you can just apologize and scram. Pei Qing stared at Qin Wentian as he coldly spoke. It's better to know your own limits. If not, you wouldn't even know how you died. He wanted him to apologize to Qin Wentian? Qin Wentian stared at Pei Qing in bewilderment, feeling somewhat speechless. Although I know you are shameless, I didn't expect you to be shameless to such an extent. This is also the reason why I couldn't be bothered to fight against him earlier. If I killed him, you would have to act and your sect would take revenge. Your so-called promise is nothing but a fart because you believe that it was impossible for you to lose. But the truth seems to have proven my words. Now, he was defeated, but I didn't kill him. I told you to apologize and scram, but you refused to admit it in front of me and Baiming Yuhuang. You even dare to threaten me here? The youngest immortal emperor in history? Can you be more shameless than this? Pei Qing, big sister, has seen it all. You're really quick to go back on your word. Baiming Nongyue felt extremely refreshed as she mocked. Today, Qin Wentian helped her to vent her anger. Pei Qing radiated a terrifying coldness as he coldly stared at Qin Wentian. Do you think that I won't be able to kill you because you are standing in the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom? But if I really want your life, do you think you can survive? Can you hide in the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom forever? Pei Qing coldly spoke. Let me ask you again. Are you sure you want me to apologize? What a joke. Qin Wentian didn't show any signs of weakness as he stared at Pei Qing. Could it be that you didn't have any killing intent towards me before, and didn't order your junior brother to kill me? You have humiliated me time and time again. First, you competed in cultivation speed, and when you failed, you competed in combat strength. In the end, you even used your status to suppress me. How ridiculous. Pei Qing, let me warn you. I have many enemies, and there are also many immortal emperors who want to kill me. It doesn't matter if you are one more. I didn't kill your junior brother because I don't dare to. It's just that I don't want to antagonize your sect. It's not that I care about you. If you want to kill me, you better know who I am first. Can you, Pei Qing, bear the price of killing me? Qin Wentian's robes fluttered in the wind. His voice was cold and domineering. He changed his attitude and icily spoke. Right now, my cultivation base is still weak and I don't want to kill your junior brother. I don't want to antagonize your sect because I have too many enemies. One day, when I break through to the Immortal Emperor realm, it means that not only you, I don't care about your sect anymore. Chapter 1364. Qin Wentian stared at Pei Qing as he domineeringly spoke. He wasn't willing to make strong enemies, but as his cultivation base grew stronger, the status of the people he interacted with would also rise. It was inevitable that he would have conflicts with some people. Back then in the Forbidden Ground was the first time, and this time in the Royal Palace was the second time. If he wanted to endure, there was only one path left for him. When Pei Qing told him to scram, he would scram with his tail between his legs. However, this clearly didn't conform to his personality. Hence, Pei Qing could only offend Qin Wentian. Since he was destined to offend Qin Wentian, there was no need for him to hold back. This was the same as Princess Kitamura. When Princess Kitamura imprisoned him and wanted to pry into his memories, he would do everything in his power to prevent this from happening. Unless he was willing to hand over his memories, he could only resist. He had many enemies and there were already immortal emperors who wanted him dead. He didn't want to antagonize Pei Qing's sect. Hence he didn't kill Pei Qing's junior apprentice brother. But just the conflict between him and Pei Qing wasn't enough to implicate the background of his sect. Qin Wentian's domineering words clearly had a certain degree of intimidation. This was the first time Pei Qing was seriously scrutinizing this young man before him. This young man had just broken through to the Immortal King realm, and already had such powerful combat prowess. Also, he was friends with Baiming Nongyue in the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, and was even staying in Princess Kitamura's residence. Their relationship seemed to be somewhat ambiguous. Pei Qing looked down on Qin Wentian. It wasn't that he didn't think that Qin Wentian might have some background. It was because he was simply too outstanding, and in addition, Qin Wentian's cultivation base couldn't be compared to him, who was at the Immortal Foundation realm. This was especially so when they first met and Qin Wentian was merely at the Immortal Foundation realm. Such a preconceived notion, as well as his pride, caused him to look down on Qin Wentian. But when Qin Wentian defeated his junior apprentice brother, and dared to say such domineering words, he couldn't help but to consider what sort of character Qin Wentian was exactly. Naturally, no matter what sort of character Qin Wentian was, up until now, he had only just broken through to the Immortal King realm. The so-called background wasn't that important to Qin Wentian, who had already stepped into the Immortal Emperor realm, because he still firmly believed that in the future, he would become a character that stood at the peak of the immortal realms. Very arrogant. You are the first person to be so arrogant in front of me. Pei Qing was silent for a moment before he smiled. In that case, I would like to ask, who are you? My name is Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian spoke, not saying anything more. He also understood that the so-called background was nothing more than an illusion. Only one's own strength could represent everything. However, there was no need for him to lower his head in front of a young immortal emperor, who felt that he was infallible. If he really had to introduce his background, Qin Wentian himself did not know how to do it. The disciple of the Emperor Qianbian of the immortal Qianbian Gate? A disciple of the heavenly talisman realm? The son-in-law of the Chongqing the Great? The Saint Lord of the Battle's Saint Tribe? Or the inheritor of the myriad Devil's sovereign? And many of these identities were meaningless. In fact, they couldn't even be said out loud. On the surface, the only two identities he had were the son-in-law of the Chongqing the Great and the disciple of the immortal Qianbian Gate. We will meet again in the future. Pei Qing stared at Qin Wentian. His eyes were as proud as ever. Qin Wentian, he would remember this name. Also, given his capabilities, he would soon know who was behind this name. Yu Huang, I will come and visit you another day. Pei Qing spoke to Princess Kitamura before he turned and departed. You haven't apologized yet. Qin Wentian smiled. Pei Qing coldly snorted and flicked his sleeves as he departed. That prince cast a deep glance at Qin Wentian before he left the princess' residence. Very swiftly, this place quietened down again. Only Qin Wentian, Princess Kitamura and Baiming Nongyue remained. Humans are all the same. When they feel that they are infallible, the majority of their promises would never be fulfilled. It's no different from farting. But earlier they would speak with such decisiveness, as though they would definitely do what they said. Regardless of immortal emperors or immortal kings, there's no difference in this aspect. Qin Wentian silently shook his head. Humans are all like this. If you are strong enough, you can use absolute strength to intimidate them, forcing them to fulfill their promises. If you don't have such strength, they naturally wouldn't be able to fulfill their promises. Baiming Nongyue smiled as she stared at Qin Wentian. After that, she glanced at Princess Kitamura. Elder sis, seems like your relationship with Qin Wentian isn't bad. Seems like I'm thinking too much. I won't disturb the two of you any longer. As she spoke, Baiming Nongyue also left with a mischievous look on her face. Although she didn't really think in this direction, after seeing how powerful Qin Wentian was, she still felt that she had underestimated him. No matter which aspect one looked at him from, he was so outstanding, including his shamelessness. Such a powerful and shameless person should be able to deal with her elder sister, who was wholeheartedly focused on cultivation. Princess Kitamura's beautiful eyes flashed. Nongyue's words were truly ridiculous. Her cold and beautiful eyes turned to Qin Wentian. Her impression of Qin Wentian changed greatly. That old fellow wanted to meet him and even impart a soul cultivation art to him. There was indeed a reason behind it. Jing Yunhe's strength definitely couldn't be considered weak. Being able to become the junior apprentice brother of Pei Qing, he could be considered a heaven chosen among immortal kings. However, he who had been at the immortal king realm for so many years couldn't even withstand a single strike from Qin Wentian. From this one could see how outstanding Qin Wentian's combat prowess was. Yu Huang, I've chased him away for you. Don't you want a reward? Qin Wentian stared at Princess Kitamura, but he only saw coldness in her eyes. Qin Wentian smiled. That old fellow wanted me to protect you. I'm only doing my part, you don't have to mind it too much. There's no need for a reward. It's just that I still have something I need to do in the eastern regions. It doesn't seem to be a good thing for you to keep me trapped here, right? What did that old fellow give you? Princess Kitamura asked again. A cultivation art that complements your death scripture. However, Yu Huang, you still want to seize my memories. I can't tell you. Qin Wentian spoke. Just leave. Princess Kitamura suddenly spoke, her words causing Qin Wentian to start. This Princess Kitamura was really going to let him leave just like that? This caused Qin Wentian to feel somewhat bewildered. He wanted to slowly grind things out, but an instant later, he smiled and spoke in a gentle voice. Seems like Yu Huang has thought things through. In the future, if I have time, I will come and visit you again. Before I change my mind, you better scram quickly. Princess Kitamura's beautiful eyes were extremely cold. After being teased by this bastard time and time again, there was a limit to her patience. Okay. Qin Wentian smiled. His silhouette flashed as he flew out. In the air, he turned his head and spoke to Princess Kitamura. Yu Huang, after I leave, I will naturally release that soul wisp. We will meet again in the future. Qin Wentian spoke as he flew towards Baiming Nongyue's residence. When Baiming Nongyue saw Qin Wentian, she immediately welcomed him with a smile. Did elder sister release you? Your elder sister's temper is truly great. I'm preparing to bid farewell. Where's Li Yufeng? Qin Wentian asked. He's outside the royal palace. Bai Ming Nongyue spoke. Let me bring you to him. There's no need, I've already wasted some time here. Help me pass a message to him that I'm leaving now. Qin Wentian smiled. It was true that he was in a hurry to return. He didn't know what the situation in the eastern regions was like. Okay, I won't urge you to stay then. Do you need to borrow the teleportation array? Bai Ming Nongyue asked. No need, I naturally have a way to return. Qin Wentian spoke. What other method could be faster than using the heavenly talisman realm to teleport? Okay, let me send you out of the royal palace. Bai Ming Nongyue smiled as she soared into the air. Qin Wentian nodded. The two of them flew together. In the royal palace, many people were staring at Qin Wentian, feeling bewildered. This fellow's combat prowess was so strong. He actually forced Pei Qing to retreat in defeat. His talent in cultivation was also shocking. He was someone worthy of befriending the princess. After exiting the royal palace of the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom, Bai Ming Nongyue smiled. I hope you can marry Princess Qing'er soon. Li Yufeng and I will go to the wedding banquet. Let's hope so. Qin Wentian smiled. He clasped his hands farewell. As he spoke, he stepped out. His immortal sense stretched out into the horizons, enveloping a vast space. Although Pei Qing retreated, who knew if he still had killing intent hidden outside? Although the possibility wasn't high, it was better to be more cautious. Within his immortal sense, he couldn't find any traces of Pei Qing and the others. He found an uninhabited place and headed there, opening up a spatial passageway leading to the Heavenly Talisman Realm. Back then, when he entered the Heavenly Talisman Realm, he opened up a spatial passageway from the immortal Qinbian Gate. But when he exited, he was sent to the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom by a senior from the Heavenly Talisman Realm. This meant that after he entered the Heavenly Talisman Realm this time around, there were two exits he could exit from. Right now, the other exit he entered was the exit leading to the immortal Qinbian Gate. He discovered that if he allowed his senior to escort him a few more times, he would be able to use the Heavenly Talisman Realm to traverse the vast immortal realms in the shortest amount of time. This was the heaven-defying aspect of the Heavenly Talisman Realm. In the immortal Qinbian Gate, Qin Wentian's silhouette directly appeared at the place where he was in closed-door seclusion. The journey from the Hokage Sengoku Kingdom to the immortal Qinbian Gate was actually completed in such a short period of time. This caused Qin Wentian to sigh in admiration. With a flash of his silhouette, Qin Wentian entered his own residence. Some of the people in his residence went out to temper themselves. Some were sent away by Qin Wentian for cultivation. Even Little Rascal and Purgatory were sent to the desolate 10,000 mountain range in the extreme north of the immortal realms. Qin Wentian had no idea how they were doing now. Extending his immortal sense into the distance, Qin Wentian stepped out, heading towards the Emperor Lord's residence to greet him. The person who came to receive him was the Taishan Immortal King, but he discovered that the Emperor Lord Qianbian was actually not here. Taishan Immortal King, how's the situation? Qin Wentian asked. Right now, the Dongshengshan Gate has truly started an all-out war against us. Out of the 6 prefectures, 2 have already fallen and were seized back by the Dongshengshan Gate. We have already retreated to the other 4 prefectures. The Taishan Immortal King spoke, his words causing Qin Wentian to understand the severity of the situation. The emperor-ranked war back then caused too many commotion. Right now, the Dongshengshan Gate has finally launched an all-out war. Other than immortal emperors who didn't participate, many immortal kings from their armies participated as well. Comparing the foundations of both sides, the Dongshengshan Gate was naturally stronger. Hence, Qin Wentian was no exception. Luckily, there's another piece of good news. Back then, when he was cultivating in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, Bai Wuya broke through to the Immortal Emperor realm. Right now, our Immortal Qinbian Gate has 2 immortal emperors. Immortal Emperor Bai Wuya has also entered closed-door seclusion to stabilize his cultivation base. The Taishan Immortal King spoke. Qin Wentian started, but a smile soon appeared on his face. I want to make a trip to the southern regions. Qin Wentian spoke. After breaking through to the Immortal King realm, it was about time for him to make a trip to the Battle Saint tribe. Chapter 1365. The southern regions of the immortal realm still belonged to the three ancient clans. This was something that wouldn't change in a short period of time. The tyrannical Ing clan, the Namhuang clan ruled by the Southern Phoenix matriarch, and the mysterious and powerful Jiang clan. These three ancient clans were all incomparably powerful, their influence sweeping through the entire southern regions. Although there were still some immortal emperor-ranked powers in the southern regions, they had no way to shake the position of the three ancient clans. The last time Qin Wentian came to the southern Phoenix immortal city, he was still weak. At that time, he was invited by Namhuang Yunxi to the Namhuang clan to aid her in seizing the position of the holy successor of the Namhuang clan. Not only that, he didn't disappoint this trip. Right now, walking into the ancient city of the Namhuang clan again, Qin Wentian couldn't help but to think of Namhuang Yunxi. He wondered how her cultivation was now. The Namhuang clan was able to form an alliance with the immortal Qinbian Gate and the Evergreen Kingdom. Back then when the emperor-ranked war erupted, although he was there to mediate, the core of the alliance was still Namhuang Yunxi. Qin Wentian had always treated her as a good friend, going through life and death situations together. Hence, this time when he came to the southern Phoenix immortal city, no matter what, Qin Wentian had to pay a visit to Namhuang Yunxi first and pay a visit to the Namhuang clan. After all, he still needed to borrow the strength of the Namhuang clan in the future. Outside the Namhuang clan, after Qin Wentian reported his name, there were people who came to welcome him. Upon seeing the woman in the lead, Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a warm smile. Namfeng Shunga was like Jin. She was a beauty from a painting, gentle like water and loved music. Sir Qin, it has been many years since we last met. You are still as graceful as ever. Nanfeng Shunga smiled. After that, she winked at Qin Wentian, exuding a hint of mischievousness. Amidst her gentleness, there were hints of quick-witted beauty, and she was extremely intelligent. She was different from Jin. Jin was a beauty who didn't like worldly affairs, while Nanfeng Shunga was a natural and unrestrained person, causing people to feel as though they were bathing in the spring breeze. Shunga, you're getting more and more beautiful, Qin Wentian said with a smile. As a beauty's cultivation level increased, their temperament would constantly change. Their skin would become more crystalline and translucent. It was true that they would grow in reverse and become more beautiful. Sir Qin, please don't tease me. When I heard that you came to the Jiue Palace, I immediately received the news. Yunxi is currently cultivating and I can only come here to welcome you. Let's head to the Jiue Palace now. I wonder when Yunxi will finish her cultivation. If she can't, I will wake her up. Nanfeng Shunga smiled as she spoke. After that, she led Qin Wentian forward. There's no need for that. What if Yunxi is at a critical juncture in her cultivation? I will pay my respects to Senior Lone Swan and leave after that. Qin Wentian spoke in a light voice. That won't do. Sir Qin, you came to the Namhuang clan. If Yunxi learns that you left before I woke her up, she would surely blame me. Nanfeng Shunga shook her head and smiled. Let alone the fact that her cultivation this time isn't a death seclusion. It won't affect her. You better control yourself well. If not, if Yunxi's cultivation is delayed, that would be my sin. Qin Wentian bitterly smiled and shook his head when he heard Nanfeng Shunga's words. Don't worry. If it's really an important seclusion, I won't wake her up. Nanfeng Shunga spoke in a light voice. She was the holy protector of Namhuang Yunxi. Right now, she naturally had to consider Namhuang Yunxi. The Clear Moon Palace was the cultivation palace of Namhuang Yunxi in the past. Because the Namhuang clan had high hopes for Namhuang Yunxi, they bestowed this palace to Namhuang Yunxi. Qin Wentian came to the Clear Moon Palace and saw some familiar faces. These were the holy protector of Namhuang Yunxi, as well as the other maidens who fought for the position of the holy successor. However, other than Qin Wentian, who was more familiar with Nanfeng Shunga, he wasn't familiar with the others. You should rest here. I will go call Yunxi. Nanfeng Shunga led Qin Wentian to a place to rest before she departed. Qin Wentian quietly waited. Not long after, Namhuang Yunxi and Nanfeng Shunga appeared before him. Qin Wentian stared at the two beauties before him. Namhuang Yunxi was elegant and dignified, with a smile in her eyes. Nanfeng Shunga was as pure as a painting. When the two of them stood together, it was truly a feast for the eyes. Have you seen enough? Nam Huang Yunqi glared at Qin Wentian. Upon seeing the look in Nam Huang Yunqi's eyes, Qin Wentian laughed. Yunqi, you are getting more and more interesting. With two great beauties standing before me, I naturally can't help but take a few more glances. Are they as beautiful as Qing'er and Qingcheng? Nam Huang Yunqi's eyes flickered with a mischievous smile. Qin Wentian started. Seems like Nam Huang Yunqi was in a very good mood. Each has their own merits, Qin Wentian smiled. Why do you have the time to come to the Nam Huang clan? Nam Huang Yunqi didn't linger on this topic and directly asked. I have something I need to do in the southern regions. It has been so many years since we last met, and I decided to pay a visit to you as well as pay a visit to Senior Nanfeng Guhong. Qin Wentian smiled. Among the major characters of the Nam Huang clan, he was only more familiar with one of the protectors of the Southern Phoenix matriarch, Nanfeng Guhong. Naturally, he would pay a visit to her. Amicham, do you want to rest in the Nam Huang clan for a period of time? I'll make the arrangements. Nam Huang Yunqi asked. No need, I'm in a rush. Right now, the situation in the eastern regions is rather tense. Seeing that you are doing well, I'll pay a visit to Senior Guhong to express my sincerity. Qin Wentian spoke in a light voice. Yunqi, accompany me to pay a visit to Senior Guhong. After that, I will leave immediately. So urgent? Nam Huang Yunqi started. That's right. It wasn't easy for Sir Qin to come here. Why are you in such a rush to leave? Nanfeng Shunga persuaded. The Immortal Qimbian Gate has a teleportation array that leads directly to this city. The Evergreen Kingdo Palace is also connected to the Nam Huang clan. In the future, if I come here often to disturb you, you two beauties better not dislike me. Qin Wentian joked. Yunqi will definitely be happy. Nanfeng Shunga laughed, her words causing Nam Huang Yunqi to glare at her. This lass actually dared to say such words? Since this is the case, let's go. Shunga, you come with me. Nam Huang Yunqi spoke. Nanfeng Shunga nodded lightly. She was already the left and right arm of Nam Huang Yunqi. Among the many holy maidens of Nam Huang Yunqi, her cultivation speed was the fastest and her talent was the best. Nanfeng Guhong was somewhat taken aback by the arrival of Qin Wentian. After the adjudication battle, there was an assassination attempt on Qin Wentian in the Evergreen Kingdom. After that, there were rumors that Qin Wentian was in closed-door seclusion and hadn't appeared for over 10 years. Who would have thought that he would suddenly appear in the Nam Huang clan? Wentian pays my respects to Senior Guhong. Qin Wentian bowed slightly. Nanfeng Guhong stared at Qin Wentian as her eyes gleamed with sharpness. A tyrannical immortal sense enveloped Qin Wentian and gushed out frenziedly. You actually broke through to the immortal king realm. Nanfeng Guhong was somewhat shocked. How long has it been since he started cultivating? He just stepped into the 9th level of Immortal Foundation during the adjudication battle. Breaking through after 10+ years? Back then when Qin Wentian first came to the Nam Huang clan, he was at the same level as Nam Huang Yunqi, at the 1st level of Immortal Foundation. How many years has it been since then? To think that he actually broke through to the Immortal King realm. Such a cultivation speed was simply terrifying. Nam Huang Yunqi and Nanfeng Shunga also stared at Qin Wentian in shock. Before this, they already faintly sensed that Qin Wentian had undergone a slight transformation. But with their cultivation bases, they weren't able to tell too much. Right now, when they heard Nanfeng Guhong's words, their hearts were filled with shock. Qin Wentian was actually already an immortal king. This fellow was simply unbelievable. I was lucky and had some good fortune. Qin Wentian spoke. The trip to the Dark North Immortal Mountain was truly an opportunity for him. Not only that, he didn't die after entering the Forbidden Ground and was forced by that undying old freak. Seems like you weren't in closed-door seclusion like the rumors say. You actually went out to roam the immortal realms. You actually managed to hide your actions from so many people. Most probably, you have already left the eastern regions of the immortal realms. Nanfeng Guhong smiled, but she felt some shock in her heart. Back then, this young man was at the same cultivation level as Nam Huang Yunqi. In fact, according to Nam Huang Yunqi, when they met in the City of Ancient Emperors, he was only at the 7th level of celestial phenomenon. If this was the case, Qin Wentian's cultivation speed was simply heaven-defying. Now, he definitely wouldn't have cultivated for more than 200 years. Also, what was even more interesting was that there were many people around him whose cultivation speed was extremely fast as well. It was as though cultivation could infect one another. An example was Nam Huang Yunxi. All of them rose up after they got acquainted with Qin Wentian, and gradually became the leading characters of their generation. Does the Nam Huang clan need help with anything this time around? Nanfeng Guhong didn't ask too much, but in her heart, she felt that this young man was someone worthy of the Nam Huang clan's friendship. The appearance of the Tiandao Sacred Academy, the servant of ancient Emperor Yu, displayed his shocking prowess. The eastern regions of the immortal realms were in a state of chaos, and the demon races of the western regions were also stirring. Among the three great clans of the southern regions, the Jiang clan had produced a batch of outstanding geniuses, and the Ying clan was even more aggressive. From many angles of view, the immortal realms were about to welcome a new era of chaos. Although Qin Wentian wasn't of much use now, he was already able to influence the situation in the eastern regions. In order to protect him, many peak powers appeared and emperor-ranked battles erupted. And given his potential, he would definitely be able to shine brilliantly in the immortal realms in the future. Under such circumstances, Nanfeng Guhong felt that if he could really become one of the ancient emperors in the future, the relationship between him and the Nam Huang clan would definitely affect the future of the Nam Huang clan. There's no need. This time around I came here because I wanted to pay a visit to Senior and also pay a visit to Yunxi and Shanga. After that, I will be leaving. Qin Wentian shook his head and smiled. There's one more thing. Qin Wentian will always remember the kindness the Nam Huang clan has shown me. I will definitely repay it in the future. Although these words were said out of courtesy, it was extremely important to Qin Wentian and the Nam Huang clan. Why would the Nam Huang clan want to help him? Was it because of his relationship with Nam Huang Yunxi? This was already proven before. Hence, he needed to let the Nam Huang clan know that he would remember all the things the Nam Huang clan has done for him. In addition to the fact that he broke through to the Immortal King realm so quickly, these words of his had more weight to them. There's no need to be so polite. The Nam Huang clan will always be your friend. Nanfeng Guhong calmly spoke. Qin Wentian nodded. After meeting Senior and Yunxi, my wish has been fulfilled. I will bid my farewell now. Yunxi sent Wentian off. Nanfeng Guhong spoke. Nam Huang Yunxi nodded. She and Nanfeng Shunga went to send them off and didn't try to persuade him to stay. Since Qin Wentian had decided to leave, he must have something important to do. He wouldn't stay here any longer. After they left, many people appeared in the Great Hall. Qin Wentian knew of their existence, but he didn't hide anything from them. That young man actually broke through to the Immortal King realm so quickly. His potential is truly terrifying. Indeed. No wonder the Chongqing the Great would betroth his daughter to him. The Emperor Qianbian also did his best to support him. Also, that mysterious Emperor Yu interfered. Most probably, it's all because of this young man. What should we do? Someone glanced at Nanfeng Guhong. In the future, the Nam Huang clan will support him even more. Nanfeng Guhong spoke. We have to pay attention to the movements in the eastern regions. For the sake of a junior, they might have to face many powerful enemies. To the Nam Huang clan, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Someone asked in a low voice. The great rock soars with the wind, soaring 90,000 miles into the sky. Nanfeng Guhong's silhouette flashed, leaving behind a sentence as she vanished. The eyes of everyone gleamed with sharpness. Seems like Nanfeng Guhong was extremely optimistic about Qin Wentian. Once he soared into the sky, he would be able to soar into the heavens. Chapter 1366. In the God Hand Mountain Manor, silence reigned. Long ago, Emperor Yu had already dismissed everyone in the manor. When Qin Wentian arrived at the manor, his immortal sense enveloped the entire space. After that, a smile appeared in his eyes. Within his immortal sense, a figure could be seen standing on an ancient mountain peak. It was none other than Emperor Yu. Emperor Yu opened his eyes and transmitted his voice. The ancient mountain has opened. You can enter now. Many thanks, Senior. Qin Wentian politely replied. Although he already knew that Emperor Yu was someone from the Battle Saint tribe, Emperor Yu was still a subordinate of the previous Saint Lord, ancient Emperor Yi. His cultivation base was also extremely tyrannical. No matter what, Qin Wentian still had to show respect to him. As the sound of Qin Wentian's voice faded, he directly flew towards the ancient mountain. The ancient mountain was the same as before. There was a mysterious and unfathomable will within. The stronger one was, the more terrifying the will would be. Qin Wentian guessed that there was a high possibility that this was left behind by an ancient emperor. Hence, he was filled with anticipation. Back then, Zidi was a peak-stage immortal emperor, but he had no way to forcibly enter. From this, one could very well imagine how terrifying ancient emperors were. There was a high possibility that ancient emperors had already reached another level. Qin Wentian had cultivated God's hand for many years. He naturally wouldn't be affected by the ancient mountain. He easily passed through the layers of obstacles and entered the old residence of ancient Emperor Yi, a place guarded by greater demons. Qin Wentian didn't wake these greater demons. He silently continued forward and came before the 3 bronze gates. Right now he had 2 choices. He could enter from the second gate or he could enter from the first gate. After that, he could use his Immortal King cultivation base to break through the restrictions of the first world and enter the second world. According to the words of the Battle Saint tribe back then, Immortal Kings were able to enter the second world. Let's go to the first world to take a look. Qin Wentian soon made a decision. Back then when he was in the first world, he already knew of the existence of the Battle Saint tribe. Now that he has returned, he should go and take a look no matter what. Qin Wentian opened the first bronze gate and entered. In the Battle Saint tribe, when Qin Wentian appeared, Qi Donglu and the others had already come to welcome him. They bowed and greeted Saint Lord. Qi Donglu was filled with bewilderment. He didn't know why Qin Wentian would return to the Battle Saint tribe at this moment. Could it be that something happened to the disciples of the Battle Saint tribe in the outside world? He couldn't help but reveal a worried expression when he thought of this. Qi Da and the others have all gone to train and cultivate. Qin Wentian seemed to understand Qi Donglio's worry. He then spoke, "The reason I came to the Battle Saint tribe is because I'm preparing to head to the second world. I came to visit you guys on the way." Sacred Master has entered the King realm? Qi Donglu had a look of shock on his face. This cultivation speed was simply too terrifying. Back then when the Saint Lord came here, he was only at the initial stage of Immortal Foundation. And Qin Wentian nodded lightly. Qi Donglu was somewhat agitated. The stronger the Saint Lords of each generation, the more hope their Battle Saint tribe would have. According to the words of their ancestor, although their enemies weren't in the Azure Mystic Immortal realms, they were extremely powerful. This was why they chose to hide in this independent world, passing down their inheritance to the next generation, not daring to let the Battle Saint tribe's legacy end. At the same time, many geniuses followed the Saint Lord out to battle, hoping that there would be a day when they could stand at the peak of the astral rivers once again. Do you understand the situation in the second world? Qin Wentian asked Qi Donglu. The 3 worlds were an independent world. Although the members of the Battle Saint tribe in the first world were very cooperative with him, the Saint Lord, the stronger a character was, the more arrogant they would be. The members of the Battle Saint tribe in the second world were all at the Immortal King realm, and there might even be many peak-stage Immortal Kings among them. If he wanted these people to listen to him, he didn't know if things would be as smooth as in the first world. I don't understand. It's unknown how many years have passed since the previous Saint Lord came here. This first world has experienced generations after generations, and I have no idea what happened during these years. However, what I can be sure of is that in the second world, there should be more experts from the Battle Saint tribe compared to the first world. They might have given birth to more descendants of the Battle Saint tribe in the second world, and there would surely be some who have awakened their sacred bone. Qi Donglu spoke. The second world should be able to provide Saint Lord with great assistance. And Qin Wentian nodded lightly. Given his current cultivation base and background, ordinary assistance wouldn't be of much help to him. Naturally, the difference between the Battle Saint tribe and the other major powers that were related to him was that the Battle Saint tribe truly belonged to him and would listen to his orders. Right. Qin Wentian nodded. Can I break through to the second world? You should be able to. Qi Donglu replied. In that case I'll be going then. Qin Wentian spoke. Saint Lord, are you not going to stay for a few days? Qi Donglu asked. It's fine, I'm only here to see you guys. Qin Wentian shook his head. Might as well. In that case, I'll respectfully send Saint Lord off. Qi Donglu bowed. After that, Qin Wentian soared up into the air. The creation of the three worlds was similar to a particle world. As long as one's strength reached a certain level, they would be able to break through the barriers. The second realm of heaven was also a complete spatial world. Back then, when the first generation Saint Lord created the three worlds, it formed a complete world. The people of this world were the same as the people of the particle world. They didn't know that the world they were in was created by someone else. Other than the people from the Battle Saint tribe, everyone else thought that this was the entire world. Qin Wentian didn't dig his way out from the ground. After breaking through the spatial barrier, he appeared in the air above the second world, amidst the clouds. Back then, when Qin Wentian exited the particle world, he didn't dig his way out from the immortal realms. Hence, Qin Wentian didn't find this strange at all. His silhouette flashed as he descended. His immortal sense gushed out, instantly enveloping this vast space. In the second world, the Xintian sect was an extremely powerful power and was the hegemon of this region. The old ancestor of the Xintian sect was a legendary immortal king, who had inconceivable innate techniques. The hegemon of the Xintian sect was majestic and majestic. However, at this moment, a young man walked over, directly heading towards the main peak of the Xintian sect. After that, the silhouettes of many young disciples flickered as they exuded coldness. Sir, please wait a moment. Qin Wentian didn't look at them. His speed increased as he vanished like a bolt of lightning. The gazes of those people froze as their bodies stiffened. What a terrifying speed. Where is he going? The back mountain of the main peak. That is the cultivation ground of the old ancestor. These disciples all felt shock in their hearts. How would Qin Wentian care about their thoughts? He directly came before an old man who was cultivating in a cave dwelling. That old man opened his eyes and stared at the immortal king before him. Dao friend, what is your purpose for coming here? Which power is the hegemon of this world? How strong are they? Qin Wentian asked. An immortal king should know about this, right? The old man frowned. What did this man mean? This world. Could it be that he wasn't someone from this world? The Battle Saint Palace is the ruler of this world. They are extremely powerful. I don't dare to make a judgment. The old man replied. Where is the location? Transmit the location to me using your immortal sense. Qin Wentian. The old man furrowed his brows as he coldly spoke. Sir, your words are a little too tyrannical. Qin Wentian didn't even have the slightest bit of respect in his eyes. Rumble. A fearsome might erupted from Qin Wentian as he spoke. Transmit the location to me using your immortal sense. The old man had an unsightly expression on his face. But when he sensed this aura, he condensed a strand of immortal sense and transmitted it to Qin Wentian. After obtaining what he wanted, Qin Wentian's silhouette flashed as he directly departed. That old man felt his heart trembling. Where did this character come from? He was actually so powerful and so young. Today the entire Xintian sect trembled. That earlier aura engulfed every part of the Xintian sect. Like the might of the apocalypse. This world wasn't so vast. After all, it was a newly created world called the Three Worlds. The Battle Saint Palace and the Battle Saint tribe shouldn't be a problem. This transcendent power should be backed by experts from the Battle Saint tribe. The Battle Saint Palace was far more majestic compared to the one the Battle Saint tribe had in the first world. Qin Wentian's immortal sense swept out and instantly knew that there were as many experts as the clouds within. He stepped out and arrived at the entrance of the Battle Saint Palace. Lifting his foot, he walked up the stairs. The guards blocked Qin Wentian's path as their expressions turned sharp. I, Qin, am here to issue a challenge to the Battle Saint Palace. Qin Wentian spoke. His voice rumbled through the air, directly transmitting into the majestic Battle Saint Palace, causing the entire place to tremble. There was actually someone who dared to issue a challenge to the Battle Saint Palace? This was simply crazy. Within the Battle Saint Palace, countless experts moved about. An extremely tyrannical aura radiated from Qin Wentian as he ascended the stairs. When the guards sensed his aura, they didn't dare to obstruct him. Moving up the stairs, Qin Wentian arrived at the entrance of the Battle Saint Palace in the blink of an eye. He was here to issue a challenge. Who are you? You actually dare to challenge the Battle Saint Palace? A young man crossed his arms in front of his chest as he stared at Qin Wentian with arrogance in his eyes. I've broken through to the Immortal King realm for several years, and the person I'm challenging is an initial stage Immortal King, not an Immortal Foundation expert. Qin Wentian calmly glanced at that young man. His expression was even more arrogant compared to this young man. The Immortal King realm was different from the previous realms. Immortal Kings and Immortal Emperors were both considered kings. However, in order to differentiate them, the Azure Mystic Immortal Realms had a more detailed division of Immortal Kings and Emperors. Immortal Kings were divided into Initial Stage, Mid-Stage, and Peak Stage. Immortal Emperors were also divided into Initial Stage, Mid-Stage, and Peak Stage. For every stage, the depth of one's cultivation base was further divided into Early Stage and Late Stage. Qin Wentian had just broken through to the Immortal King realm not long ago, and was considered an Initial Stage Immortal King. However, after he broke through, his cultivation base stabilized and he could directly fight against late-stage Initial Stage Immortal Kings. The expression of that young man changed, feeling humiliated. A beautiful woman beside him also coldly spoke. Even if you have broken through to the Immortal King realm, you still don't have the qualifications to behave atrociously here. I'm not here to behave atrociously. I'm here to issue a challenge. Do the people of the Battle Saint Palace dare to accept my challenge? Qin Wentian spoke in a loud voice. He was prepared to use this battle to see the strength of the experts from the Battle Saint tribe. At the same time, he wanted to display some of his strength for them to see. This way, the people from the Battle Saint tribe would be more willing to follow him. Chapter 1367. The three worlds were open because of the Battle Saint tribe. The Battle Saint tribe was the absolute hegemon of the three worlds. However, the number of people in the Battle Saint tribe who had awakened their sacred bone wasn't too many. It was clearly insufficient to just rely on the members of the Battle Saint tribe to rule the three worlds. The Battle Saint tribe had long taken root in the three worlds, and the Battle Saint Palace in the second world was the Battle Saint Palace. Naturally, the true core members were those who had awakened their sacred bone. Only they knew the mission they shouldered and knew the truth of the world. The man who just arrived, although he was an expert from the Battle Saint Palace, he wasn't a core member of the Battle Saint tribe who had truly awakened his sacred bone. However, he was still a descendant of the Battle Saint tribe. Hence, he had an innate pride, the pride of being the absolute hegemon of the Battle Saint tribe. There has never been anyone who dared to step into the Battle Saint Palace to challenge us. You are truly courting death. That beautiful woman coldly spoke. So what if Qin Wentian was an initial stage Immortal King? As the hegemon of the Battle Saint Palace, any random Immortal King from the Battle Saint Palace would be able to kill him. And as expected, an Immortal King expert soon arrived. This man was an Immortal King from the Battle Saint Palace, but he wasn't someone from the Battle Saint tribe. Instead, he was someone nurtured by the Battle Saint Palace. Since he could become an Immortal King, he was definitely a major character in the second world. He stared at Qin Wentian. You came here to challenge us because you want to attract the attention of my Battle Saint Palace. If you can defeat me, there might be someone willing to meet you. So this is the case. You actually use such a method to attract attention. Let's see how capable you are then. That young man from before coldly laughed. This young man and the beautiful woman beside him were from the direct line of descent of the Battle Saint Palace, and had the blood of the Battle Saint tribe flowing in their veins. However, they had yet to awaken their sacred bone. They could only sigh in admiration. Indeed, the older the ginger, the spicier it was. They could guess the purpose of this man with a single glance. Their Battle Saint Palace was the hegemon of this world. The entire world had to submit to them. Indeed, other than this reason, they couldn't think of any other reason for Qin Wentian to challenge them. Qin Wentian declined to comment as he smiled. Please. As he spoke, he soared up into the air. The Immortal King from the Battle Saint Palace did the same, and the two of them hovered in the air. Tyrannical law energy flowed. The immortal king of the battle St. Palace lifted his palm and blasted it towards Qin Wentian. In just an instant, a dazzling golden palm imprint blotted out the sky, akin to the palm of a fiend god, capable of crushing everything. The experts of the battle St. Palace below inclined their heads as smiles could be seen on their faces. Above Qin Wentian's body of laws flowed with a terrifying luster. Looking at the incoming golden palm imprint, he waved his hand, causing the heavens and earth to tremble violently. In the vast space around him, terrifying runic laws converged, transforming into numerous devilish blades of destruction that slashed out. In an instant, the golden palm imprint was destroyed, but the devilish blades of destruction continued forward, slashing towards the experts from the battle sage palace. The immortal king from the battle St. Palace unleashed his own law domain. A moment later, all sorts of tyrannical law energy surrounded him. However, when he sensed this, Qin Wentian couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. This should only be an ordinary immortal king. There shouldn't be anything extraordinary about him. His silhouette flashed. His movement technique was quick to the extreme. Boundless destructive energy congregated together, transforming into a gigantic devilish saber of destruction. Qin Wentian directly appeared before the devil's saber. With a clench of his hand, the devil's saber slashed down with the wind, breaking apart the law domain, wanting to destroy everything. Pucci! The saber light descended. That immortal king from the battle St. Palace only felt his entire body trembling as he perspired profusely. When that saber slashed down, he could already feel death looming over him. However, the devil's saber merely slashed past him, not killing him. Such a battle caused him to feel a sense of defeat. They were both at the immortal king realm, but why was the disparity between them so great? Inclining his head, he saw Qin Wentian staring at him. That immortal king then asked, "Did you really just break through to the immortal king realm a few years ago?" "No matter what, I'm still an immortal king expert. How can I fabricate lies to boost my own strength?" "Your strength isn't enough. If the battle St. Palace only has this much strength, it would truly be disappointing." Qin Wentian's voice was calm, drifting downwards as numerous figures soared up into the air. Among them, there were several immortal kings. Qin Wentian's eyes were like lightning, able to see through everything. He then spoke to those immortal kings. "Immortal kings can come at me together. I don't mind." The immortal kings turned ashen, feeling humiliated. They soared up into the air and stared at Qin Wentian. One of them spoke, "Don't be too arrogant." Qin Wentian smiled and shook his head. Abruptly, a terrifying aura gushed forth as he unleashed his law domain. Laws of destruction, devil, demon. Everything was violent to the extreme. Within the law domain, there seemed to be a miraculous change. Some of the laws actually intertwined together, transforming into terrifying greater demons of destruction that stared down at everyone with disdain. The expressions of the immortal kings all changed. They also doubted Qin Wentian's words. Was this really something that an immortal king who had only broken through to the immortal king realm a few years ago could accomplish? "There's no need to be polite." Qin Wentian smiled. The immortal kings exchanged glances before nodding their heads slightly. When Qin Wentian released his aura, and when they saw his law domain, they already felt that they had to join forces. Bzz. A raging wind gusted as Qin Wentian vanished from his location. He was like a bolt of lightning, so fast that it was inconceivable. Movement technique. The expressions of everyone changed. This was an extremely powerful movement technique. They saw numerous afterimages of Qin Wentian, transforming into a divine rock. The afterimages elongated, and very swiftly the entire law domain was filled with afterimages. Boom! Numerous demonic rocks manifested, exuding a violent demonic chi as they shot towards the immortal kings. Qin Wentian used his movement technique to blend in with the attacking great rocks, making it hard for the immortal kings to catch a glimpse of him. Careful! Their immortal senses locked onto the movements of Qin Wentian, and at the same time, they launched attacks to defend against the attacks of the demonic beasts. Why do I feel so drowsy, like I'm dreaming? A thought appeared in the hearts of some people. Their minds were in a state of chaos, and they couldn't differentiate between the afterimages of Qin Wentian and the attacking great rocks. It's a dream. He comprehended the power of dreams and merged it into this complex law domain. The countenances of the immortal kings all changed. If this continued on, Qin Wentian would already be in an invincible position. Boom! A terrifying aura abruptly erupted forth. One of the immortal kings retreated with explosive speed. Qin Wentian's figure directly appeared before him as a violent destructive might blasted out, causing the immortal king's body to tremble violently. However, Qin Wentian stood there unmoving, smiling at them. The immortal kings exchanged glances, their expressions extremely unsightly. So many immortal kings were defeated without even fighting. We are ashamed of our inferiority. One of them spoke. The law domain dissipated. The words of these immortal kings shocked the juniors of the Battle Saint Palace. The strength of this newcomer was actually so powerful. Let me try. At this moment, a young immortal king slowly walked over. After that, the eyes of the immortal kings below gleamed with sharpness. Those immortal kings also retreated, giving up the battlefield as they stared at the young man with respect in their eyes. Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with a golden light. After that, a smile appeared on his face. The main character has finally appeared. Let's go up a little more. The young man spoke as he soared up into the air. Qin Wentian nodded and also flew up. The more powerful a battle was, the more terrifying the shockwaves would be. Make your move. The young man stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke, his tone filled with immense confidence. Please. Qin Wentian smiled and released his law domain. After that, the young man also released his own. With their bodies as the center, a terrifying might gushed forth, corroding the opponent's law domain. As expected of someone from the Battle Saint tribe, Qin Wentian stared at his opponent's law domain. Golden holy light enveloped the area, exuding boundless might. Numerous divine apes could be seen flickering in and out of existence. This law domain was clearly very mature. Qin Wentian stretched out his hand as a terrifying destructive devil saber appeared. After that, he grabbed it in his palm as law energy flowed through his entire body, infusing it into the devil saber. At the same time, the energy of the entire law domain gushed towards the devil saber. In an instant, a destructive devil might shook the heavens and earth. That devil saber was like a world-destroying saber. A smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face as he stepped out and slashed down with his saber. The sky trembled violently as a beam of destructive light arced through the air. That young man had a heavy expression on his face. With a loud roar, the divine apes in his law domain howled in unison. Golden light filled the sky as a gigantic divine ape cleaved out with both its palms, slamming into the destructive saber light. A thunderous boom rang out as both the saber and the palm imprints shattered. However, a second saber of destruction actually manifested as an even more terrifying might gushed forth, shooting towards the second saber. Slash! Qin Wentian spat out a single word as an even more powerful saber light slashed down. That young man had a look of shock on his face. He stepped in the air as a brilliant light radiated from his body. With a howl of rage, the divine ape soared up into the air as a boundless might erupted forth, transforming into a gigantic palm imprint of destruction that slammed towards the second saber. Another terrifying collision occurred. However, a third saber manifested in the air. This one was even more powerful. It was like the saber intents of the previous two sabers had been infused into it as well, wanting to split the heavens and earth apart. Qin Wentian's domain energy frenziedly gushed towards the third saber. As the saber descended, the gigantic shadow divine ape manifested behind the young man. The bones in its body radiated an overwhelming battle might as it punched out. This time around it wasn't only aiming for the saber, it was aiming for Qin Wentian as well. Clearly, it knew that if the saber was destroyed, the saber wouldn't be destroyed. Qin Wentian pressed out with his palm. A moment later, tyrannical devil might converged into a bolt of destructive lightning, akin to the light of judgment, slashing out, shattering all the incoming fists. As the third saber slashed down, an azure roar shook the heavens, shattering the saber once again. However, the third saber appeared. The young man had a look of despair on his face. Although he wanted to fight, he felt that he couldn't win. Retreat. A voice drifted over from afar. The young man nodded and retracted his aura, clearly admitting his defeat. In the initial stage of the Immortal King realm, there won't be anyone here who can win against you. That voice rang out again. This time around it was directed at Qin Wentian. The hearts of everyone trembled as they stared at Qin Wentian with shock. "Try fighting against mid-stage immortal kings over there." Qin Wentian spoke. The people of the Battle Saint Palace were all shocked. Who was this young man? He actually came to the Battle Saint Palace and displayed such shocking strength. Chapter 1368. In addition, this young man was extremely arrogant, claiming that he had only broken through to the immortal king realm a few years ago. In the Battle Saint Palace, he was invincible among those at the same level as him. Right now, he actually wanted to challenge a mid-stage immortal king from their Battle Saint Palace. Below, the expressions of the young man and woman earlier grew unsightly. This fellow was simply too arrogant. But given his strength, it was truly impossible for him to leave. "My Battle Saint Palace will definitely kill him to establish our might," the young man spoke in a low voice. After that, from afar, another figure flew over, facing off against Qin Wentian. The aura radiating from this person was extremely shocking, causing the entire space to tremble violently. Clearly, his cultivation base was very high, higher compared to Qin Wentian, already at the mid-stage of the immortal king realm. His eyes were full of spirit, and his gaze seemed to carry with it the might of battle, giving off an unfathomable feeling. "Since you want to challenge a mid-stage immortal king, let me test your strength then," that person spoke. After that, the laws of heaven and earth trembled violently as a towering battle aura filled the air. Qin Wentian felt an immense pressure boring down on him. It was extremely terrifying. A mid-stage immortal king from the Battle Saint tribe naturally wouldn't be weak. The combat prowess of this person would surely be shocking. His opponent blasted out with his palm as boundless law energy churned violently in the air. After that, a terrifying palm imprint directly descended from the sky, slamming towards Qin Wentian, exuding a majestic aura that shook the heavens and earth. This gigantic palm imprint blotted out the sky. There was basically no way to evade. Qin Wentian's body radiated a divine glow as terrifying light circulated around him. With him as the center, the energy of heaven and earth in the surroundings transformed into towering law energy. He lifted his palm and similarly blasted out a gigantic palm imprint, causing the sky and earth to tremble. A deafening sound of collision rang out. Although they were fighting in the air, it still caused the eardrums of the people below to tremble. When they inclined their heads and stared at the sky, their hearts were filled with shock. The mid-stage immortal king released his law domain, instantly enveloping Qin Wentian within it. The depth of his cultivation base was reflected in his various abilities. His law domain and body of laws were even more terrifying. He wanted to use his law domain to directly suppress Qin Wentian. Kill. Within the law domain, a heaven-shaking battle might could be felt. The experts of the Battle Saint tribe cultivated the Battle Saint art and had awakened their sacred bones. The energy they cultivated was very similar to each other. Although the attributes of their laws might be different, they would still use the battle law domain of the Battle Saint art as the foundation to strengthen their own law energy. The law domain of this expert was somewhat similar to the one before, but it was even more violent and terrifying. His combat prowess was even more tyrannical. Numerous gigantic palms slammed together, slamming towards Qin Wentian, wanting to kill him within this domain. At this moment, Qin Wentian also felt a huge pressure. He released his law domain as devil might towered up into the sky, engulfing everything in its path. A fearsome might circulated around him as numerous ancient characters manifested. These characters were actually in the form of palm imprints, erupting forth with destructive might as they blasted out in all directions. In just an instant, rumbling sounds shook the heavens and earth. At the location where Qin Wentian's body of laws was located, his law domain was the strongest, directly shattering the corrosive might. After that, his law domain expanded outwards, clashing against the law domain of his opponent. Palm imprint. The middle-aged man frowned. This palm imprint gave him a sense of familiarity. The heavens and earth changed as law energy surged, blotting out the sun. Qin Wentian's law domain gradually took form, transforming into a gigantic black palm that exuded a tyrannical suppression might, wanting to destroy everything. This black palm imprint descended from the sky, slamming towards the mid-stage immortal king. That mid-stage immortal king had a look of shock on his face. With a roar of rage, the battle saint bone in his body shone with boundless battle light. With a lift of his hand, he activated the law energy of the heavens and earth. With a howl of rage, a divine ape manifested in his body, manifesting a gigantic palm imprint that blasted out, clashing against the tyrannical might of his opponent's law domain. Boom! The heavens and earth trembled as the space was on the verge of shattering. The two of them were engulfed by the chaotic law energy. When everything dissipated, they were still standing proudly in the air, staring at each other. Come with me. Only to see that at this moment that mid-stage immortal king suddenly spoke. After that he turned and stepped out. Qin Wentian smiled and followed after him. This scene caused a look of bewilderment to appear on the faces of everyone. What situation was this? At this moment the battle suddenly stopped? Could it be that they really wanted to recruit Qin Wentian into the Battle Saint Palace? And for those from the Battle Saint tribe who awakened their saint bones, they silently left. They also discovered some clues. That gigantic black palm imprint seemed to be some kind of innate technique from the legends. At the peak of the Battle Saint Palace, there were many sacred halls. Even for the upper echelons of the Battle Saint Palace, they weren't allowed to enter easily. But at this moment Qin Wentian actually came here. After passing through many checkpoints, they arrived at the depths of the sacred hall. Before this, Qin Wentian's immortal sense didn't manage to discover this place. Clearly, his immortal sense was blocked. He knew that this place was where the true ruler of this world was located. Can you tell me now? Who are you? That mid-stage immortal king asked. Haven't you already guessed it? Qin Wentian laughed. Let me bring you to meet the tribe leader. The mid-stage immortal king glanced at Qin Wentian. Every world of the Battle Saint tribe had a tribe leader that governed everything. In the second world, the palace lord of the Battle Saint Palace was merely an expert from the Battle Saint tribe. As for the tribe leader, he was the one who had absolute control over everything. The two of them continued on their way. Qin Wentian came to the cultivation location of an old man. The old man was currently staring at a chessboard on the ground in a daze. This chessboard was incomparably complicated and contained the intent of the Great Tao. Earlier, that attack manifested from your law domain, what was it? That old man lowered his head as he asked. God's hand. Qin Wentian's body circulated with a divine glow. He stretched out his palm as a terrifying aura gushed forth, akin to the palm of a divinity, exuding boundless might. God's hand manifested from the Battle Saint art. Qin Wentian spoke in a low voice. Your combat prowess isn't bad. The tribe leader inclined his head and stared at Qin Wentian. Also, you are very young. Did you come from the first world? Yes, I went to the first world before coming here. Qin Wentian nodded. In that case, I should address you as Saint Lord. The old man stood up. Qin Wentian humbly spoke, Senior. There's no need to be so polite. You can just call me Wentian. The old man nodded lightly. Actually, I don't agree with the methods of our ancestor. Although the first-generation Saint Lord has given our tribe a new lease of life, he is after all the first-generation Saint Lord. It's very difficult to find another character like the first-generation Saint Lord. I originally felt that the Battle Saint tribe should have their own experts temper themselves and roam the world. At the same time, we should preserve our tribe's bloodline, ensuring that the flames of our tribe won't be extinguished. As for the future Saint Lords, no matter how outstanding their talent is, we have no way to know how far they would be able to reach. In addition, there's no way to guarantee the character of the next Saint Lord. Although the people of our Battle Saint tribe will listen to the orders of the Saint Lord, and there will only be benefits to the Saint Lord, the time is too long. It's unknown how many years the Saint Lords have experienced. As long as there's a major change of events, we wouldn't be able to afford the price. Qin Wentian nodded his head lightly. The old man was right. After countless years, no one would know what would happen. I don't have any other meaning in saying this. I'm just feeling a little rueful. Since Saint Lord is here, I will naturally order my people to follow you. Even if I don't agree with the methods of our ancestor, my Battle Saint tribe will still follow the rules. In addition, there are also some treasures in the second world. If Saint Lord needs them, you can take some with you. Senior is too polite. I don't lack resources and I won't take the treasures. If the immortal kings of the Battle Saint tribe aren't willing to leave with me, I won't force them either. I will definitely not divulge the secret of the Battle Saint tribe. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. He naturally needed to borrow some of the power of the Battle Saint tribe before coming here. After all, this was a power that belonged to him. However, from a certain perspective, there's no such thing as an undeserved reward. Right now, he truly didn't have any contributions to the Battle Saint tribe. This was merely an illusory promise. At his current cultivation realm, his view of many things had changed. He wouldn't force others. If the Battle Saint tribe wasn't willing to follow him, he wouldn't force them. However, with regards to the wishes of the Battle Saint tribe, it had nothing to do with him. Chida and the others had once served him before. He would only promise to take care of them and do his best to help them. The old man stared at Qin Wentian in bewilderment. Can you really do this? Qin Wentian laughed. Senior, I've cultivated for less than 200 years and reached my current cultivation realm. Although I don't dare to say that I'm outstanding, it wouldn't be easy to find someone in the Battle Saint tribe with a higher talent than me. Right now, although I need to borrow the strength of the Battle Saint tribe, if you go out, you will know that the use of immortal kings to me is limited. I have immortal emperors behind my back, and in addition, the Battle Saint tribe is willing to serve me. Although they might be able to help me now, in the future when I reach a certain level of cultivation, I will return the favor to the Battle Saint tribe. For example, those people I brought out from the first world back then, I will be the one taking care of them in the future. Hence, from a certain perspective, I, Qin, am not taking advantage of the Battle Saint tribe. How much I obtain now, I will repay the Battle Saint tribe in multiples in the future. On the other hand, if the Battle Saint tribe isn't willing to follow me, I won't have to shoulder this mission anymore. Because of the past Saint Lords, the Battle Saint tribe wouldn't lack me. But at the same time, without the help of the Battle Saint tribe, my life wouldn't be too different. The old man stared at Qin Wentian as his eyes gleamed. He felt that the past Saint Lords had taken advantage of their Battle Saint tribe. Hence, he said these words to Qin Wentian because he hoped that Qin Wentian would be more loyal to the Battle Saint tribe in the future, and not be too arrogant before the experts of the Battle Saint tribe. After all, the ones they would be following this time around were all immortal kings. Who would have thought that a single sentence from Qin Wentian caused him to be speechless? Chapter 1369. The two of them spoke in a reserved manner. But if one were to be more direct, he could say that the previous Saint Lords of your tribe have taken advantage of my Battle Saint tribe, and my Battle Saint tribe still has to bear the risk. Qin Wentian replied that this was originally a transaction. No matter how many benefits I gain now, I will return even more in the future. I didn't take advantage of your Battle Saint tribe at all. If you don't wish to follow me, I don't mind. I'll respect your choice, but the future of the Battle Saint tribe has nothing to do with me. How arrogant! The old man silently mused. After that, numerous figures flashed as many immortal kings arrived. They had been listening to the conversation here, and all of them had different gazes when they stared at Qin Wentian. Senior, you guys can consider for 2 hours. I will wait outside. Whether or not you are willing to follow me, and how many experts are willing to follow me, Junior will not interfere. I will respect the choice of the Battle Saint tribe. However, there's one thing I want to remind you. If you choose to follow me, Junior doesn't wish for any unhappiness to occur. Naturally, I will also respect those who are willing to follow me. After Qin Wentian spoke, he turned and left. It was like he was really as indifferent as he said, and would respect the choice of the Battle Saint tribe. After Qin Wentian left, the immortal kings of the Battle Saint tribe exchanged mutual glances. The old man was stunned as well. This fellow is truly arrogant. An immortal king spoke in a low voice. Indeed, but his strength is also very powerful. If it's really like what he said, breaking through to the immortal king realm only a few years ago and cultivating for less than 200 years, his talent is truly terrifying. Another immortal king spoke. Such a person would naturally be arrogant. Before this, the tribe leader initially wanted to make him feel that he owed the Battle Saint tribe. Clearly, he was extremely unhappy in his heart, and felt that it wouldn't affect him if the people of our tribe chose to follow him or not. What do you guys think? The tribe leader glanced at everyone. The people here were all immortal kings of the Battle Saint tribe. At this level, they already had the ability to shake the heavens and earth and have lived for many years. Wanting them to be like the immortal foundation experts who were willing to follow Qin Wentian willingly was naturally much more difficult. After all, many of the people here were at a higher realm than Qin Wentian. I'm used to being unrestrained. I can't accept being ordered around like this, a celestial king said with a smile, indicating that he would not follow Qin Wentian. This is the order of our ancestors. Even if we wanted to change it, it would be difficult. If we refused to follow him, it would be the same as missing out on this generation's Holy Lord. But if fate doesn't change and we have to follow a generation's Holy Lord, I think we shouldn't miss out on this child. Indeed, for him to be able to say what he said earlier, it means that he is very ambitious and has very strong confidence. People expressed their opinions one after another. Some were unhappy with Qin Wentian, while others thought that he was worth following. However, for those who felt that Qin Wentian was worth following, there were also those who didn't want to follow him. After all, they had their own pride, and earlier, Qin Wentian's words were very absolute. As long as they followed him, they would have to listen to all of his orders. In this matter, he was extremely domineering. That clan leader listened to the opinions of everyone. After that, he spoke, "Summon all the immortal kings out there back as well. Since you all put it this way, I will respect your choices. For those who are willing to follow him, go ahead. For those who aren't, stay behind. This is your choice." Everyone nodded. At this moment, Qin Wentian walked out of this space and stood outside the Great Hall. Before he came here, he already guessed that this trip wouldn't be as smooth as the first world. Hence, he directly broke through the barrier and revealed his strength before the experts of the Battle Saint tribe. Reality was just like what he had guessed. Wanting immortal kings to follow him willingly wasn't an easy matter. But he also wouldn't force them, allowing the Battle Saint tribe to make their own decision. Time flowed by bit by bit. Qin Wentian only gave them 2 hours. He had no way to ascertain what choice the Battle Saint tribe would make, but he would accept it no matter what. During these 2 hours, more people came by, walking past Qin Wentian. All of them were powerful characters at the Immortal King realm. Even before the 2 hours were up, the tribe leader of the Battle Saint tribe walked out. Has the tribe leader made a decision? Qin Wentian smiled. Saint Lord. That tribe leader called out, his words causing a faint smile to appear in Qin Wentian's eyes. Saint Lord, there are still many experts of our tribe who are out tempering themselves and have yet to return. What I can tell you now is that there will be many immortal kings who will follow you back. But as for the exact number, we still have to wait for the people of our tribe to return before we can be sure. Saint Lord, can you wait for a few more days? Qin Wentian spoke. Qin Wentian thought for a moment before he smiled and nodded. It was true that it was impossible for all the immortal kings of the Battle Saint tribe to gather within the tribe. Since this is the case, I will roam around the second world. Tribe leader, give me a deadline and I will return by then. Qin Wentian spoke. 7 days. Saint Lord, you don't have to go out. I can get the people of the Battle Saint Palace to accompany you. The tribe leader spoke. That's fine as well. Qin Wentian nodded. Since the people of the Battle Saint tribe were willing to follow him, he naturally didn't want to be too unfamiliar with them. He might as well stay in the Battle Saint Palace. In any case, 7 days would pass in the blink of an eye. Saint Lord, please follow me. The mid-stage immortal king who fought against Qin Wentian earlier walked over. He stretched his hand out and gestured to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded and stepped out, heading towards the various palaces of the Battle Saint Palace. Saint Lord, my name is Qin. The immortal king beside him spoke. Saint Lord, are you still angry because of the tribe leader's words? Qin Wentian shook his head, not really. The tribe leader didn't say anything wrong. I can understand what the tribe leader is thinking. Qi Yuan started, feeling bewildered at Qin Wentian's calmness. Seems like Qin Wentian could see things clearly and was very calm. You don't have to worry about my opinion of the Battle Saint tribe. I've already said that I will respect the tribe leader's choice. I will do what I should do. Why would I care about a sentence from the tribe leader? Qin Wentian smiled, dispelling Qi Yuan's doubts. Saint Lord's state of heart is extraordinary. Qi Yuan nodded. After that, he brought Qin Wentian to a residence and spoke. Saint Lord, you can temporarily rest in this residence for a few days. I will pass down the instructions. If Saint Lord has any requests, you just need to issue the command. Saint Lord can also roam around the Battle Saint Palace as you wish. Okay. Qin Wentian nodded. After that, Qi Yuan retreated and passed down the instructions. A moment later, the entire Battle Saint Palace was shaken. That young man who came to challenge the Battle Saint Palace not only didn't receive any punishment, he even became an esteemed guest and enjoyed extremely good treatment. Those young men and women who came earlier all felt bewildered in their hearts, not knowing what was going on exactly. Could it be because he chose to join the Battle Saint Palace? During these 7 days, Qin Wentian didn't go out. He quietly cultivated while waiting for news from the Battle Saint tribe. Until 7 days later, the tribe leader personally led over 10 experts to the residence where Qin Wentian was at. Tribe leader. Qin Wentian glanced at the experts before him. Other than the tribe leader of the Battle Saint tribe, there were a total of 36 others. Each of them was at the Immortal King realm and their auras were retracted. Their eyes gleamed like lightning. Saint Lord. The tribe leader nodded. After that, the Immortal Kings all nodded to Qin Wentian as well. Saint Lord. Upon seeing this scene, Qin Wentian's heart was as clear as a mirror. He knew that these people were all immortal kings who were willing to leave with him. A smile appeared on his face. 36 immortal kings and all of them were elites of the Battle Saint tribe. This was definitely a terrifying force. Saint Lord's combat prowess is sufficient to contend against mid-stage Immortal Foundation experts. Hence, the 36 immortal kings of the Battle Saint tribe are all specially selected by my tribe. Their cultivation bases are all at the mid-stage or peak stage. Among them, there are 3 who already stood at the peak of the Immortal King realm. The tribe leader spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded his head silently. Seems like the Battle Saint tribe leader wanted to make up for what happened back then. The number of experts selected this time around had already exceeded his expectations. The 36 of them were all at the mid-stage or peak stage of Immortal Foundation. There are also initial stage Immortal Kings who wish to follow Saint Lord. However, I feel that even if they join forces, they wouldn't be able to win against Saint Lord. Hence, I didn't plan to allow them to follow you. Naturally, if Saint Lord needs them, I can allow them to follow you. The tribe leader continued. I have a suggestion. Qin Wentian spoke. Saint Lord, please speak. The tribe leader spoke. There are many immortal kings in the second world of the Battle Saint tribe. If there are initial stage immortal kings who wish to leave, there's no need for them to assist me. The world outside is extremely vast. There are many worlds outside the Azure Mystic Immortal realms that I have never been to before. It might not be a bad idea to allow some of them who wish to roam the world outside. There's a reason for tribe leader to be worried. If there really is a major change, at the very least, there's still the bloodline of the Battle Saint tribe in the outside world. Qin Wentian spoke. The eyes of the tribe leader flashed. After that, he nodded his head lightly. Saint Lord's words are logical. I will seek their opinions and let them decide for themselves. If they wish to leave, let them follow Saint Lord to the outside world. Right, tribe leader can make the arrangements. Everyone, please stay here temporarily. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone nodded as the tribe leader departed. To everyone, Wentian can be considered a junior. Since everyone is willing to follow me, I will do my best to help all of you to increase your strength and reach new heights. Follow me. Qin Wentian spoke as he walked towards the cultivation grounds. Everyone had looks of curiosity on their faces as they followed after Qin Wentian. After that, Qin Wentian took out a treasured cauldron and allowed the experts to enter. Given the talent of the Battle Saint tribe, there shouldn't be a problem for them to undergo the baptism of the sacred luminance. Qin Wentian stayed here, waiting for them to undergo the tempering of the sacred luminance. With such an army of immortal kings following him, he hoped that he could forge them into a truly powerful immortal king army. It would be best if they could grow together with him in the future, stepping into an even higher cultivation realm. After staying in the Battle Saint Palace for a period of time, everyone exited the cauldron after undergoing the baptism of the sacred luminance. The Battle Saint tribe leader had also chosen those who wanted to head out to temper themselves. Qin Wentian then led the experts from the Battle Saint tribe back. Chapter 1370. In the palace of the immortal Qianbian Gate, the Emperor of Qianbian and many experts were present, including Bai Wuya. The Thunder and Rock prefectures have already fallen. Right now, the Dongshangshan Gate is in control of them. This time around, they directly invaded the Yu prefecture and initiated a huge battle. As long as the Yu prefecture falls, our Cloud prefecture will be surrounded. The Dongshangshan Gate will surround us from all directions, and they have already started to construct teleportation arrays, allowing them to teleport to the other prefectures. The Emperor of Qianbian spoke to everyone present. Everyone had heavy expressions on their faces. They clearly knew how serious the situation was. Out of the 6 prefectures that the immortal Qianbian Gate controlled, only 3 remained. The immortal emperors and immortal kings chose not to act. But even at this level, they were clearly at a disadvantage. Hence, they were forced to retreat step by step. Right now, they were finally forced to a point where they had no path of retreat. If they retreated any further, the Dongshangshan Gate would directly attack their headquarters in the Cloud prefecture. I didn't expect the Dongshangshan Gate to be so ruthless, actually secretly mobilizing an army of immortal kings to the Yu prefecture. Also, according to our intelligence, they are doing this secretly. Not only the experts of the Dongshangshan Gate are here. Someone spoke with a cold expression. I know that we were tricked this time around, but since this is an immortal war, we can only blame ourselves for not being strong enough. The Emperor of Qianbian's expression was cold. Also, I didn't expect the Dongshangshan Gate to want to launch a decisive battle so quickly. They want to devour our immortal Qianbian Gate in a single breath. However, the Eastern Sage Immortal Sect suddenly mobilized more troops to the Yu prefecture, taking them by surprise and directly breaking through the defenses of the prefecture, killing several of their immortal kings and even injuring one of their immortal kings. They all understood the meaning behind this. The Eastern Sage Immortal Sect had launched an all-out attack. They didn't intend to drag things out slowly. Emperor, what do we do now? Someone asked. Immediately, everyone's gaze fell on the Emperor Qianbian. Everyone already knew the purpose of the Dongshangshan Gate. So the next step was how to deal with it. What do you think? Emperor Qianbian glanced at Bai Wuya, who was sitting beside him, and asked. Give up on Yuezhou. Let the remaining forces return to the Celestial Gate, Bai Wuya said. As soon as he said this, everyone's eyes flashed. What do you mean? Emperor Qianbian looked at Bai Wuya. Bai Wuya nodded his head lightly. Summon all the experts from the Supreme Moon Prefecture and Western Desert Prefecture back as well. Concentrate all our forces to the Cloud Prefecture. Since the Eastern Sage Immortal Sect wants to fight, let's set the location to be the Cloud Prefecture. The Cloud Prefecture was the base of the immortal Qianbian Gate. If all their strength was gathered there, it would be much more convenient for them to request for reinforcements. The headquarters of the immortal Qianbian Gate was also located there. They could deploy their forces at any time. The Emperor Qianbian glanced at Bai Wuya. According to their previous plan, they wanted to slowly nibble away at the strength of the Dongshangshan Gate. However, Qin Wentian's rapid growth as well as the adjudication battle caused the situation in the immortal realms to change. The Dongshangshan Gate took the initiative to launch a ferocious attack, wanting to reclaim the 13 prefectures and regain their former glory. Bai Wuya's words meant that the people of the Yu Prefecture, Supreme Prefecture and Western Desert Prefecture would be retracted as well. There was no doubt that this was a decisive battle, leaving only the Cloud Prefecture and abandoning the other 5 prefectures. The gazes of everyone turned heavy. The Emperor Qianbian stared at Bai Wuya. Your words are logical. The Yu Prefecture can no longer be defended. If we still don't retreat, our losses would be even greater. Now we can only choose a decisive battle. In that case, I will have to trouble you. Bai Wuya nodded his head. He naturally understood the meaning of the word, trouble. The immortal Qianbian Gate retreated from the Yu Prefecture. At the same time, they also retracted their forces from the Supreme Prefecture and Western Desert Prefecture. For a period of time, the entire 13 prefectures were in an uproar. Back then, when the Emperor Qianbian wanted 6 prefectures, the Dongshangshan Gate finally unleashed their anger and launched a true expedition, wanting to completely annihilate the immortal Qianbian Gate. The major powers of the eastern regions were also paying attention to this battle. All emperor-ranked powers understood that this didn't merely implicate the war between the Dongshangshan Gate and the immortal Qianbian Gate, it implicated the entire situation of the eastern regions as well. One could say that for this war, the Dongshengshan Gate was determined to annihilate the immortal Qianbian Gate no matter what. Some experts with high cultivation bases started to leave the Cloud Prefecture. When the final battle between the two immortal sects erupted, the Cloud Prefecture would be engulfed in the flames of war. The Dongshengshan Gate didn't choose to directly lead their army to the immortal Qianbian Gate. Instead, they chose to surround the Cloud Prefecture, and this might affect the entire Cloud Prefecture. The people of the Cloud Prefecture were all filled with trepidation. Countless people in the cities knew what the Cloud Prefecture would be facing. This time around, Qin Wentian didn't go through the Namhuang clan when he returned. He only used the teleportation array in the southern Phoenix Immortal City, and on the way back, the discussions he heard were all about the war between the Dongshengshan Gate and the immortal Qianbian Gate. He didn't expect that such a huge change would occur in such a short period of time after he left. Upon sensing the severity of the situation, Qin Wentian's heart sank. Many of his loved ones were tempering themselves in the Cloud Prefecture. If a war really erupted, no one would be able to predict the ending. Seems like it would be best if he sent them away. After all, his foster father Qin Chuan, Yi Qingyun, the medicine sovereign, and the members of the battle sword sect weren't strong enough to deal with a war of this level. Once they were implicated, the consequences would be catastrophic. Qin Wentian brought the members of the Battle Saint tribe and silently returned to the immortal Qianbian Gate. Because they came here to follow Qin Wentian, the people of the immortal Qianbian Gate naturally wouldn't care about Qin Wentian's matters. In addition, Qin Wentian originally had many friends and loved ones. Just a few tens of them was nothing to be surprised about. After all, not everyone would be able to tell the cultivation bases of these tens of people. After making arrangements for the members of the Battle Saint tribe, Qin Wentian went to the place where Qin Chuan and Qin Yao were. He discovered that during the time he was away, Qin Chuan, Yi Qingyun, and the others had all returned. Evidently, they sensed the change in the situation in the Cloud Prefecture and hurried back to the immortal Qianbian Gate. Foster father, sister, I was just about to look for you guys. It's good that you guys returned. Qin Wentian walked up. Wentian, is the war about to break out? Qin Yao asked. During these days, the people of the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures were all discussing this matter. This was why they all hurried back. It should be. Later on, I will go and meet with the Emperor Lord. If the situation is too dire, I will send people to escort you guys back to our particle world. Qin Wentian spoke. If a war really broke out, he had to send his loved ones away first in case they were implicated in the aftershocks. How can we do that? Wentian, we will face this together with you. Qin Chuan shook his head. Foster father, you guys are different from me. The aftershocks from a battle between experts are too terrifying. Even if the aftershocks landed on you, it would be a calamity. I naturally hope that we can win this war. But before the war starts, no one can predict the ending. Qin Wentian persuaded, his words causing Qin Chuan to furrow his brows. Indeed, he heard all sorts of rumors saying that the immortal Qianbian Gate was finished, and the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures would be unified once again. This time around, the Dongshengshan Gate would definitely obtain a complete victory. Right now, this was the opinion of countless people in the 13 prefectures. In fact, the vast majority of people in the eastern regions also felt this way. You guys wait for me here. Qin Wentian's silhouette flickered as he vanished without a trace. In the Monarch Palace, the Emperor Lord Qianbian already knew that Qin Wentian had arrived. Upon seeing Qin Wentian walking over, he smiled. You guys broke through. Emperor Lord. Qin Wentian nodded. Breaking through to the immortal king realm so quickly. Awesome. The Emperor Lord Qianbian praised. You want to know the current situation and how to deal with it, right? Qin Wentian nodded. The Dongshengshan Gate has been attacking ferociously. We have no choice but to fight. Right now, I've already given the order to retreat 5 prefectures to the Cloud Prefecture. Right now, the Dongshengshan Gate is also gathering troops. The Emperor Lord Qianbian spoke. I understand. Qin Wentian nodded. The two of them chatted for a while more. After that, Qin Wentian left and gathered his friends and family. Several days later, the majority of those who came from the particle world were all gathered back by him. Wentian, Qingsheng hasn't returned yet. The medicine sovereign spoke to Qin Wentian. I know where Qingqing is cultivating. She shouldn't be affected by the shock waves. I will secretly head over to see her. Senior medicine sovereign, you guys should temporarily return to your particle world first. I will get someone to escort you there. After the situation stabilizes, you can return to the immortal realms anytime you wish to. Qin Wentian spoke. The medicine sovereign nodded lightly. Isn't it too boring to return to a particle world? If I, Fatty, return, wouldn't I become a hegemon? Fatty Fanla spoke in a depressed manner. Isn't that exactly what you want? Qin Wentian glanced at Fatty. AI at that time beauties would be as common as the clouds. It wouldn't be too good if all of them would rush over to my side. Fatty shamelessly spoke. Xian Exine, who was at the side, glared at him. Why don't you give it a try? After being out for so many years, the Dongshangshan Gate has long stopped paying attention to our particle world. Now that we have returned to our hometown, it's also not too bad. Qin Wentian laughed. The medicine sovereign and the others nodded. Indeed, although the particle world was very weak, it was still the place where they grew up in. Qi Yuan, I will have to trouble the few of you. Qin Wentian glanced at the experts of the Battle Saint tribe. This time around he was sending them off secretly in case the Dongshangshan Gate set their sights on their particle world again. Qi Yuan and the others nodded lightly. The group of them mounted their divine weapons and waved to Qin Wentian before following the experts of the Battle Saint tribe. Qiyu, make a trip with me. Qin Wentian glanced at Qiyu, who was beside him. Qiyu was one of the 3 strongest experts in the Battle Saint tribe. Right now, the situation in the 13 prefectures was extremely chaotic. Although he had always been low profile and didn't expose himself, in order to prevent others from targeting him, he still asked Qiyu to escort him when he went out. In that case, even if he encountered danger, he would be able to handle it. Right? Qiyu had a middle-aged appearance and was extremely calm. He nodded in agreement. Let's go. Qin Wentian turned and departed. The monarch told him that although they were already at the gates, both sides were still making preparations. The final battle wouldn't erupt so quickly. Hence, Qin Wentian decided to make use of this free time to pay a visit to Qingqing. Chapter 1371. Emo Qingqing's eyes flashed with shyness. She spoke in a low voice, Bad fellow, you can have whatever reward you want. I'm here to visit my wife. She's cultivating in the unaging immortal mountains. Qin Wentian politely replied. Yeah, in the past, I didn't know that senior brother Chomo's clan is actually so powerful. There are actually so many immortal kings among the experts who came here to help. Senior brother Chomo's elders even have the qualifications to chat and drink with the Peak Lord. The woman from before praised again. Many people nodded in agreement. Also, on the main peak, there were people even more outstanding than Choemo, yet none of them managed to gain Emo Qingqing's favor. Choemo stared at the back view of Emo Qingqing. Even if she was angry, even if it was just her back view, she was still so mesmerizing. If only he could obtain her. Junior sister Qingqing, if it's such a man, it's fine even if you abandon him. Given your talent and beauty, who wouldn't want you in the palm of their hands? Emo Qingqing's countenance turned cold. These few words of his were clearly a little too frivolous. A voice suddenly drifted into Emo Qingqing's ears. At this moment she was in her room, leaning against the railing, staring at the misty mountain range in a daze. This sudden voice caused her heart to tremble violently. Abruptly she turned, only to see a silhouette materializing in front of her. The silhouette was smiling at her, filled with boundless gentleness and gentleness. What a good place! Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the unaging immortal mountains. The immortal qi here was extremely dense, like a fairyland. And the unaging immortal mountains would organize a grand pill concoction banquet once every 10 years. Some of the stronger powers, as well as the friends and family of the disciples who participated in the grand pill concoction banquet, would all be able to come and support them. That's right. The woman smiled. After that, the two of them walked over and came to a place where many people were gathered. Emo Qingqing furrowed her brows. There seemed to be too many people here. Not only for the disciples of her mountain peak, there were even disciples from the other peaks here as well. Among them, there were quite a few people who were pursuing her. On one of the peaks, The friends and family of many disciples were here. The courtyard Mo Qingqing was in was extremely quiet. She was concocting pills alone in her pill concoction room, experimenting over and over again. He walked up the stairs and entered the mountain gate. There was someone who welcomed him and asked with a smile, "Are the two of you here to support your family and friends for the pill banquet?" During these days, the unaging immortal mountains were exceptionally lively. At the foot of the mountain, there were countless experts who came here to pay a visit. Among them, there were some extremely powerful powers. These people weren't from the unaging immortal mountains, but their juniors or family members were cultivating in the unaging immortal mountains. Mo smiled. "There are still many senior brothers who are stronger than me. Junior sister Qingqing, on the other hand, will definitely shine brilliantly in the field of concocting 6th-ranked immortal pills." Among them, there were a few extremely outstanding heaven's favorites. For example, the person before them was named Mo. His talent was outstanding and both his strength and alchemy skills were extremely high. Elixir feast? A look of bewilderment appeared on Qin Wentian's face. Upon seeing Qin Wentian's bewilderment, the guard explained, "This place is the unaging immortal mountains. Outsiders are not allowed to enter." Senior sister. Mo Qingqing glanced at Yi Ro. This was none other than the young woman who invited her here earlier. She shook her head, not wanting to talk about this. The guard had a look of bewilderment on his face. Since this person said that his wife was cultivating in the unaging immortal mountains, how could he not know about the elixir feast? He then asked, "Which peak is your wife from? What is her name? Is that true?" That guard stared at Qin Wentian. "Junior sister Qingqing is here." A young man stared at Mo Qingqing as a warm smile could be seen in his eyes. Ever since Mo Qingqing entered the unaging immortal mountains, the title of the #1 beauty of the unaging immortal mountains had already been snatched away by her. In addition to her high talent and high attainments in alchemy, she naturally became the object of admiration for many people. In other words, he wanted her to give up on Qin Wentian and choose someone else? Junior sister Qingqing. At this moment a voice rang out. Mo Qingqing extinguished the flames and walked out as she called out, "Senior sister." "He's very busy with his cultivation." Mo Qingqing calmly replied. Any immortal emperor could become a hegemon of a region, able to influence the entire region. Mo Qingqing's eyes were slightly red, yet a radiant smile blossomed on her face. She took a few steps forward and rested her head on Qin Wentian's chest. Her arms were wrapped around Qin Wentian as she quietly felt his heartbeat. As he spoke, he and Qiyu ascended the mountain together. The scenery here was beautiful, but Qin Wentian didn't have the mood to admire it. Since he had already entered the sect, he could naturally soar through the air. Very swiftly, he arrived at the peak and with a sweep of his immortal sense, he found Mo Qingqing. "Very busy with your cultivation? Such a beautiful wife, yet she doesn't appear at such an important time? Is she thinking of cultivating?" Mo smiled. In the eastern regions, the unaging immortal emperor was definitely one of the top characters in the world of alchemy. Junior sister Qingqing has always been like this. Yi Ro smiled. The unaging immortal mountain was located at the border between the territories of the 3 hegemonic powers of the eastern regions. In the middle of the eastern Sage 13 prefectures, the Supreme Sword School and the Taihua Immortal Dynasty. It was extremely famous in this region. After all, it was an immortal emperor power. What's wrong? Upon seeing the expression on Mo Qingqing's face, Qin Wentian asked. At this moment, Qin Wentian was at the foot of the unaging immortal mountain, at the entrance of the sect. More people have arrived. I wonder whose friends or relatives they are. At this moment a group of experts was brought over. Some of them had tyrannical auras as their eyes gleamed with sharpness. Clearly, they were from an immortal king power. "You broke through to the immortal king realm?" Mo Qingqing gently asked. Qin Wentian once said that he would definitely break through to the immortal king realm this time around. Since he came to see her, it meant that he should have already entered the immortal king realm. Such a young immortal king. Mo Qingqing was truly proud of her lover. Mo Qingqing's countenance turned cold as she indifferently nodded her head. "Qingqing, you being by my side is already the best reward." Qin Wentian gently spoke. "Junior sister, are you concocting pills alone again?" Although the pill concoction banquet is about to begin, There's no need for junior sister to work so hard, right? It's rare for you to have such a lively time. Why don't you go out more often? That woman smiled. I'm not sure which mountain peak we are on exactly. My wife's name is Emo Chingcheng. Qin Wentian spoke. The expression of that guard froze as he stared at Qin Wentian. Emo Chingcheng was very famous in the unaging immortal mountains because she was the #1 beauty of the unaging immortal mountains. The guard had seen her once before and was stunned by her beauty. Qin Wentian glanced at the path leading to the mountain peak and nodded. Many thanks. Chingcheng. None of them moved. Time seemed to stop. Only after a long time did Emo Chingcheng incline her head. There were traces of tears on her face, but a radiant smile still hung on her face, stirring the hearts of those who saw her. Senior brother Chiu Emo himself has outstanding talent, and is now already an immortal king expert. It's only normal for his clan to be powerful. I heard that his clan is located in a large city near the Supreme Sword School, and he is the king of a city, ruling over an area. Someone laughed. I wonder who would be able to subdue this woman. Someone spoke in a low voice. Many men were fantasizing that it would be them. Sadly, Emo Chingcheng didn't even have Chiu Emo in her eyes, let alone others. I hope that I can perform better during the pill concoction banquet and not disappoint Master. Emo Chingcheng smiled. The unaging immortal mountain where the unaging immortal emperor resided was located at the intersection of the 3 hegemonic powers. However, their fame had already extended to the people of the 3 hegemonic powers. There were some geniuses from the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures, Paragon Sword Sect and Taihua Immortal Dynasty who were proficient in pill concoction. All of them would head to the unaging immortal mountain to learn pill concoction. The disciples of our unaging immortal mountains are truly all elites. During these days, I wonder how many experts have come here. Someone laughed. After speaking, she directly turned and departed, causing many to be stunned. She only wanted to cultivate in peace in the unaging immortal mountains, and wasn't willing to be involved in such matters. Chingcheng, I'm here to see you. Qin Wentian gently pulled Emo Chingcheng into his embrace as he stared ahead. In this beautiful place, the reunion of lovers was like a beautiful painting. It was just that because the unaging immortal emperor was only an initial stage immortal emperor, he didn't have the influence of the peak powers of the eastern regions. But even so, immortal emperors were still extremely rare characters. Even in the perspective of the entire immortal realms, although there were many immortal emperors were still considered to be at the peak of the immortal realms. Everyone is a disciple of the immortal mountains. Please show some respect when you speak. Emo Chingcheng coldly glanced at that person. Senior sisters. Chingcheng bids her farewell. Senior brother Chiu, in the upcoming pill concoction banquet, given senior brother Chiu's attainments, you would surely be able to display your brilliance, right? The woman who invited Emo Chingcheng smiled. Ma'am, Emo Chingcheng leaned on him. Her right now didn't seem like the cold beauty in the eyes of the disciples of the unaging immortal mountains. Her beautiful eyes were filled with boundless gentleness. Hence, during this period of time, the atmosphere on the unaging immortal mountain was exceptionally lively. Usually the pill concoction peaks would be very quiet, but now the atmosphere was filled with vitality. Every peak of the unaging immortal mountain was the same. How do you intend to reward me? Qin Wentian smiled mischievously. The unaging immortal mountains is an immortal emperor-ranked power. Could it be that I would still dare to come here to cause trouble? Qin Wentian laughed. The disciple guarding the mountain nodded. After that he spoke, you can go and then. Relying on masters doting on him. He is truly as arrogant as ever. Someone spoke with jealousy. In that case, I have to think about it properly. Qin Wentian had a radiant smile on his face, still hugging the woman he loved tightly. He walked to the railing and stared at the scenery in the distance. It was as though he could feel the loneliness Emo Chingcheng felt earlier. And as expected, someone immediately spoke. That's right, junior sister Chingcheng rejected many of her fellow apprentices, including some extremely outstanding ones. Logically speaking, junior sister Chingcheng's husband should be a heaven's chosen, a dragon among men. However, for such an important event like the pill concoction banquet, he still hasn't appeared. What's going on? Could it be that junior sister Chingcheng lied to everyone? Master regards you so highly, no wonder you would have such thoughts. However, right now, many of our fellow apprentices are chatting outside. Why don't you all go out for a walk? That female disciple smiled. Mo Qingcheng contemplated for a moment before nodding her head lightly. Sure. Junior sister Yi Ro, I heard that your family members have arrived as well. There's an immortal king expert among them, and your fiancé is also an extraordinary character. Why don't you guys gather together? Are you worried that someone might snatch your fiancé away? Cho Mo glanced at Yi Ro as he spoke. Yi Ro smiled with some embarrassment. He merely stepped into the gate of the immortal king realm. How can he be considered an extraordinary character? As for junior sister Qingcheng, she has rejected countless suitors, saying that she already has a family. She must be an extremely outstanding character. Chapter 1372. The two of them quietly enjoyed this rare moment of peace. After a long time, Qin Wentian spoke. Qingcheng, when I came here I heard many people talking about the pill concoction banquet. What's going on? It's a grand gathering of our unaging immortal mountains that happens once every 10 years. The disciples of the various peaks would gather together and compete in pill concoction, testing their abilities. It's an extremely grand occasion. I was already there during the previous pill concoction banquet, but because I was weaker I couldn't participate. This time around I will be participating as well. Mo Qingcheng spoke in a light voice. No wonder so many people came to the unaging immortal mountains. Qin Wentian nodded lightly. In that case, I will accompany you to the end of the pill concoction banquet before I leave. Mo Qingcheng gently smiled. In her heart, she also hoped that Qin Wentian would accompany her to the pill concoction banquet. This wasn't because of vanity. She simply hoped that she would be able to spend a few more days with Qin Wentian. In addition, she could also tell the people of the unaging immortal mountains that she already had someone she loved. In that case, those people wouldn't bother her anymore. I have a friend who came as well. Since there are so many people here to participate in the pill concoction banquet, the unaging immortal mountains should have a place to entertain them, right? Qin Wentian smiled. There is. Mo Qingcheng nodded. In that case, let us go and make arrangements for your friend first. The two of them walked to the courtyard. Qiyu quietly sat there, guarding for Qin Wentian. He knew that Qin Wentian came to see his wife and naturally wouldn't disturb them. At this moment, Qiyu turned and glanced at Qin Wentian and Mo Qingcheng. He felt that the two of them were extremely compatible. Qiyu, this is my wife, Mo Qingcheng. Qin Wentian introduced. Qiyu nodded to Mo Qingcheng. I pay my respects to Madame. Mo Qingcheng saw how polite Qiyu was to her and knew that the relationship between the two of them wasn't just that of friends. However, she didn't probe any further and merely smiled. Let us go to the place where the unaging immortal mountains receive guests first. Just do as you say, Madame. Qiyu nodded. Cultivators did not care about such things. Mo Qingcheng and the two of them continued on their way out. The ancient peak was extremely vast, and there was an area specially designated for receiving guests. The scenery was extremely beautiful, and on their way there, several people had strange expressions on their faces when they saw Qin Wentian beside Mo Qingcheng. This young man was walking together with Mo Qingcheng, and it seemed as though the two of them were extremely close. When Qin Wentian saw that many people were looking at him, he laughed in a low voice. My Qingcheng is always the center of attention wherever she goes. Mo Qingcheng's lips twitched as she held onto Qin Wentian's hand. Feeling the warmth of Mo Qingcheng's palms, Qin Wentian also held onto her hand tightly, as though he was declaring his sovereignty. A young man, Wu Xiu, had an extremely unsightly expression on his face when he saw this scene. He was also one of the people who admired Mo Qingcheng, yet Mo Qingcheng had always been cold to him. She couldn't even be bothered to say a single sentence to him, and was incomparably arrogant. Now that he saw her holding the hands of another man, he naturally felt jealousy in his heart. And here I thought she was so pure and holy. In the end, isn't she the plaything of others? This young man felt jealousy in his heart as he silently mused, feeling extremely unhappy. On their way here, Qin Wentian was the center of attention and soon became the topic of discussion for everyone on this ancient peak. The movements of the two of them were also constantly being monitored. After they settled Qiyu down, Qin Wentian and Emo Qingcheng returned to Emo Qingcheng's residence together, causing a huge commotion. This was especially so for the following period of time. Even if it was nighttime, Qin Wentian and Emo Qingcheng didn't come out at all. They even set up a barrier to prevent the immortal senses of others from spying on them, causing those who couldn't bear it to return empty-handed. As the number one beauty of the unaging immortal mountains, Emo Qingcheng's every action would stir the hearts of many. Right now, there was actually a man together with her. How could this not cause a commotion? Countless people started to discuss this. To think that junior sister Qingcheng is such a person. She doesn't care about her reputation at all. Yeah, I thought she was so pure and innocent. Who would have thought that she's probably doing something improper at this moment? Someone mocked. How can you all speak like this? Junior sister Qingcheng has long said that she has someone she loves, and they are already married. This man should be her husband. What's so strange about her being together with her husband? There's no need to be so jealous of junior sister Qingcheng. There were also some righteous senior sisters who couldn't bear to listen to these rumors and spoke out for Emo Qingcheng. There were also people speculating about Qin Wentian. A voice spoke, "This young man doesn't seem any different from others. I wonder if he has any background. He's definitely far inferior when compared to senior brother Qiu Emo. If he really is Emo Qingcheng's husband, her judgment is truly terrible. Why don't they break up? Such a beauty. Even if they broke up, she would still be popular." Outside, all sorts of voices rang out, even drifting towards the other ancient peaks. After all, there were too many people paying attention to Emo Qingcheng. However, Qin Wentian and Emo Qingcheng couldn't be bothered with these discussions. No matter where they went, they wouldn't be able to control the thoughts of others. Hence, there was no need to bother with them. The prerequisite was that they didn't antagonize him. The two of them lived in a world of their own. After being separated for so long, they naturally wanted to enjoy this rare moment, admiring the beautiful scenery of the mountain range. Time passed very quickly. The two of them didn't even take a step out of the mountain range. It was unknown how intense the commotion they caused outside was. The pill concoction banquet was finally about to commence. Today, the disciples of the ancient peaks all headed towards the pill concoction grounds. Emo Qingcheng also stood up and headed there. Qin Wentian didn't go with her. When the pill concoction banquet was about to commence, most of the family members were only here to spectate. Hence, they followed the crowd and arrived at the side of the pill concoction grounds. On the pill concoction grounds, Yiro saw that Emo Qingcheng was glowing with health and vigor. She walked to her side and lightly laughed. "Junior sister Qingcheng, I heard that you have been living a happy life these few days." Emo Qingcheng frowned, feeling more and more dislike for Yiro in her heart. It was only because they were fellow apprentice sisters that she maintained a respectful attitude towards Yiro. But now Yiro's words were getting more and more frivolous. "This has nothing to do with senior sister, right?" Emo Qingcheng unhappily spoke. "I'm just asking. I didn't expect junior sister to have such a huge reaction." Yiro laughed. "Don't you know that right now, everyone in the unaging immortal mountains is talking about you? Don't you want to know what your fellow apprentice sisters and brothers are saying about you?" "I don't want to know and I'm not interested either," Emo Qingcheng coldly replied. "He." Yiro laughed. "Your husband came here alone. Is there no one else in your clan? Senior sister, does this have anything to do with you?" Emo Qingcheng's frown deepened. "Naturally, it has nothing to do with me." Yiro smiled but didn't say anything. Her expression was extremely unsightly to behold. She promised someone on the main peak that she would help him pursue Emo Qingcheng and was promised many benefits. But now there was no hope for her. At this moment, a few figures walked over from the front of the pill concoction grounds. The person in the lead was a middle-aged beauty that exuded an extraordinary aura. Qin Wentian could tell with a single glance that her cultivation base was very high and should be at the peak stage of the immortal king realm. This woman should be the pill lord of this mountain, the master of Emo Qingcheng. The pill concoction banquet that happens once every 10 years has always been a major event of our unaging immortal mountains. The 9 pill lords will lead the disciples to participate in this banquet, and even the immortal emperor himself personally concocted a supreme pill as a reward. You all better perform well. That woman directly spoke. The disciples all bowed, wanting to fight for glory. Everyone came from afar. This time around, you all can participate in the pill concoction banquet together and witness the glory of our unaging immortal mountains. The beautiful woman glanced at the crowd. Everyone smiled and nodded. Let's move out. With a flash of her silhouette, the beautiful woman soared into the air as the people beside her followed closely. After that, the disciples all soared into the air. Qin Wentian and the others also stepped out, flying towards the highest peak of the unaging immortal mountains. Over there was the main peak of the unaging immortal mountains, the unaging peak. The pill concoction grounds of the unaging peak were extremely spacious, able to accommodate over 10,000 people concocting pills. In the surroundings of the pill concoction grounds, there were tables and chairs, allowing one to view the scene in the pill concoction field while enjoying the immortal banquet at the same time. Friends have come from afar. If the unaging immortal mountains hospitality isn't satisfactory, I hope you won't take offense. On the main platform, a white-bearded old man smiled. Many people clasped their hands to express their politeness. The unaging immortal mountains hospitality is truly boundless. At this moment, a group of people walked towards the main platform. The people from the 9 peaks arrived one after another, including the experts from the main peak. Other than the elders of the main peak, there was also a group of experts with extraordinary auras. They were all from the Taihua Immortal Dynasty. Qin Wentian and Qi Yu casually found a seat and sat down. He saw Mo Qingqing, who had already walked to the edge of the pill concoction field, turned her head back to look for him as she smiled at him. Qin Wentian raised his fist, smiling encouragingly at Mo Qingqing. For him, Qingqing had sacrificed so much. He also hoped that Qingqing would be able to find her own path of cultivation, regaining her talent and fulfilling her pride. At the location where the disciples of the main peak were, Xiao Mo and the others noticed Mo Qingqing. Xiao Mo's expression turned cold and the person beside him spoke in a low voice. I thought it was the Holy Maiden. Who would have thought? It's rumored that she stays in her room with someone else, not taking a single step out. I wonder what she is doing. It's that young man over there. He looks so ordinary. How can he be mentioned in the same breath as senior brother Xiao Mo? Someone stared at Qin Wentian. Right now, Qin Wentian was extraordinarily handsome and had an outstanding demeanor. This person naturally wanted to belittle him. Xiao Mo didn't say anything. His gaze was filled with unfriendliness as he stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian could already sense many gazes on him, but he was still as calm as ever. Those people are from a transcendent power in the Taihua Immortal Dynasty. It's rumored that the clan leader of that clan has an extremely high status in the Taihua Immortal Dynasty. Someone glanced at those people sitting together with the main peak's pill lord. I've heard of it too. One of their disciples is a disciple of the main peak's pill lord and has extremely outstanding talent. Someone spoke. Are these people from Senior Brother Shue's clan? Senior Brother Shue is a dragon among humans. His talent is extraordinary, and his clan is actually so powerful. I heard that they are all experts from the Taihua Immortal Dynasty. The disciples of the unaging immortal mountains also discussed. Not only are they from Senior Brother Shue's clan, there's one among them who is an elder of Senior Brother Qiao Mo and is extremely powerful. He is also sitting beside the main peak's pill lord and has an extraordinary status. Yuro spoke in a light voice. Many disciples of the unaging immortal mountains had extraordinary backgrounds and some of them were extremely dazzling. However, this doesn't count for much. Junior sister Qingqing doesn't even have senior brother Qiao Mo in her eyes. I wonder where junior sister Qingqing's husband is from? Yiro smiled at Mo Qingqing, who was beside her.